What's up, guys? Boogie back again. Welcome back to the channel. Guys, today I got a whole lot of videos to review for you guys. Um I have, starting with Ashley. I think I may be wrong, but I think she likes to teach women how to get rich men. You know, she doesn't want women to deal with average guys, or at least the women don't want to deal with average guys. So we got Ashley first in the lineup. We got Lapeef, we got Anton Daniels, we got some TikToks. Yo, I got so many videos I'm gonna react to with you guys. The dating streets are cooking. Dating is getting more complicated every single day. And since the dating streets are cooking, I was like, why don't I serve you guys? It's time to eat. So let's go, Boogie Army. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll put all the links down below to all the videos because I don't finish all the videos. So the links down below to all the content creators, their channels, their TikToks. You can click the description, select whichever video you want to go finish or whichever channel you want to go subscribe to, and then you'll see those guys over there. So other than that, without further ado, let's cook, man. Let's serve. Let's eat.
So I met him like about 2 weeks ago. He does fairly well for himself. So we met out at like a cute little lounge in our area. We live like Metro Atlanta, and conversation was cool. We've had like misconnections because of our schedule. Like he goes and he travels for work, or I'm like I might be exhausted when I'm because I work hospital 12-hour shift type of thing. Okay, whatever. So today I'm like, okay, I have some time. Let's go meet up for some lunch. I text him around noon, like, hey, I'm getting my nails done. I'm free today. Let's go eat type of deal. And we're like, okay, cool. We planned for a time, 3 o'clock. 3:06 hit. I'm like, hey, I'm 6 minutes away from the place. I'm headed there now. Okay, cool. All he says is, you're gonna get there before me. I said, okay, no problem. I'm there after like 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, still waiting. Get my drink, get my appetizer. No word, no word from him. And then like I'll say about an hour later, he texts me and he's like, hey, I had a technician at my house, this, that, and whatever. So I'm just now leaving. This is an hour.
Wait, he told you that an hour later that he had a technician at his house when you
Because why
texted
did
him at 3:06?
Yes. And my thing was, instead of just saying, oh, you're gonna get there before me, it was you. Why didn't you just say, hey, I have a technician at my house, I may be a little like, this is why I'm late.
Yeah.
Sounds like men are doing exactly what women have been doing. Women ghost men, they make them wait for an hour, 2 hours late. Sometimes they even they tell the guy that, hey, they got a date, and then they only tell the guy that they're leaving their place 10 minutes before the time of the date. So looks like guys are doing exactly what women have been doing for the longest time, and women don't like it. And clearly she waited for an hour, so that means she really liked this guy. But at the same time, randomly hitting up someone, a man or woman, in the middle of the day. So it's like, I'll do whatever I want to do, and then I'll give you the time when I can. It's like, I'll put you in my, it's like she was trying to fix him into her schedule. You should make a plan 2 3 days ahead of time. But she's like, oh, I was bored, and then in the middle of the day I told him, hey, I want to see you, let's go eat. It's like she was running the whole show. She's a leader of the whole thing. There's no way it was ever gonna work out.
Yeah, or let's push it until 4, don't leave your house, or let's reschedule, or
Yeah. So by that time, when he said that, I said, oh, my mind already, I was like, yeah, this is done. So then hour and a half go by, but because I got my hookah, I got my drink, y'all. I'm like, I was going anyway because I was going to eat anyway. Your company or not, it was going to get done type of thing. And then he texts me. I'm like finishing my entree. I have my hookah, have my drink. I'm chilling at the bar. Other people are coming to the bar anyway. I'm cool. He's like, hey, I'm here. Where are you? I'm at the bar. He says, come to the patio. So you're here. You did not come. You didn't come address me. You just text me and say, come to the patio.
wait, so he was there already? Was
He
he
texted
there?
me when he arrived. He said, hey, I'm here. Where are you? I said, hey, I'm at the bar. 2 minutes later, he says, come to the patio. Thank you. I ain't coming nowhere. I text like I said, oh, okay.
Wow. Not only was he late, he's telling you to get up. He couldn't even come over to you. Hey, I'm sorry, Nicole, I ran a little behind.
Yeah, that's because, like she said from the beginning, She went to do her hair or her nails. Then in the middle of the day, she's like, you know what? I'm bored. Which guy can I text to take me out? And women do this all the time. It's like he must have been asking to see her the whole time. And then she claimed she was busy. And then out of the day, like he didn't plan, like people, adults plan their days out. You know, what am I going to do this day? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go do ABC. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to cook. Like people have their days scheduled. But it's like she made him like an afterthought. She probably had been canceling on him, claiming she's so busy when he was asking her out. And when she finally decided she wanted to see him and to take her out to eat, I don't know why they always want to go to eat for some reason. You know, I think it sounds like it was a foodie call, and he was like, "No, I ain't going for it." And then he's like, "I'll come whenever I come," because she was running the show. You guys notice she decided when she will see him, and she didn't plan ahead of the time. She just picked a random time during the day to say she wants to see him. She probably picked the place where she wanted to go see him. So she was leading the whole interaction, and he was like, no. So when he got there, he's like, no, I'm gonna take back the leadership, or I'm gonna take back the power. You come where I am, which to me there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing, maybe he made her wait, but it's like she just randomly put plans on him. He wasn't even planning to do that.
That's what I was shocked by. Because you're texting saying, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm at the bar, seat saved for you, whatever, you know? Come to the patio. You want me to, like, I got my food here. I got my hoop here. I got my drink here. You're not even going to come help. Like, it's a difference if you come, hey, how are you, babe? Hey, let's move.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. If you're late, if you showed up late, the least he can do is come over. Hey, are you good? I'm sorry, but you're telling me to get up to walk over and greet you after you're an hour late?
He didn't want to pay for the date, if we're going to be honest. It's a trick some guys use, which there's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion, because he knows if he goes to the bar, she's going to make him pay for the food she already got, for the drink she already got, and maybe he just wanted to get a drink. You know, because she doesn't want to be used as a foodie call. So what does he do? When he gets to the venue, which she probably picked, because she's only telling us her side of the story. She's not telling us the whole story. He's not here to tell us his own side of the story. What? So she's like, let me get a guy to take me out for free food, make him pay for my food and for my drink, because I'm bored. It's a weekend. I have nothing to do, and I have no other guys to take me out. She calls this random guy. Hey, I want to see you. Can we go eat? She thinks he's going to come pay for the food and for the drinks, but what he does, he makes her wait. She orders, she eats. He's thinking, okay, by the time I get there, she should be done paying for everything. I would just go see her instead of being used for free food and for free drinks. So what he does, he goes to this different side of the establishment. So let's say it's a bar. If she's at the bar and they have a patio, he's going to sit out. He's going to be like, come to the patio, which means she's not going to leave the bar unless she has paid. That's a smart move in my opinion, but she doesn't like it.
Yeah, hour and a half at this point.
An hour, 2 hours. I'm rounding up.
I was there for 2 hours. Yeah. That was so weird to me. And then I'm like, I already made up in my mind, because I was just astonished, really, like the audacity. Really. So then
the audacity, because he didn't come on time to pay for your free food and drinks.
he's calling me because I'm still there, because I'm like, I'm finishing up. I'm just going to finish up and head out. And so he's texting me, he's calling me, and I didn't answer the call. He's like, oh, you're still here? I said, yeah, I'm just finishing up. At this point, still, you have not come and checked on me?
Wait.
Yeah, she wants to run the relationship.
He was still in the building.
Still in the building. It's 15 minutes has passed. He still hasn't walked over. Wow, the men really do want princess treatment, honey.
Yeah, like you.
No, it's not princess treatment. Men are just tired of being used. Men are really, really tired of being used. If we're going to be honest, being used for free dinner, being used for free drinks, and then ghosting them, and they're never going to see you. Because like I said, she's only telling us her side of the story. But the way it sounds to me when she started talking, she said she has been talking to this guy for some time, and she wasn't making time to see him. And then on a random day, after she finished doing her hair, her nails, she texts him, hey, I want to see you. Let's go eat. Any guy is going to be like, oh, so you want me to come pay for your food? The whole time you're acting so busy, and now out of the blue, you want me to come to go eat? Like, that's weird. It's not like, hey, I would like to see you. I would like to get to know you. Let's go out. When will I see you? But on a random day, you just give me random plans, like as if I have nothing else to do. Yeah, men are just tired of being used.
You want
They
me to
want
get up
princess
and to come
treatment.
see you?
No, no,
I
no,
said, then he called me.
no.
I finally answered. He's like, well, oh, well, what'd you order? I'm not about to chit chat with you about my order when you're 10, probably 20 feet away. You're on the patio. This is so weird. I was just, and you're old. My thing is like, he's older than me. So I just turned 29. I like to date older. But at this point, that don't
For
even
the
matter.
money.
It's like nobody has manners.
It's given he was there with somebody else. I don't know. Was he there already on the patio?
No, he wasn't. I was there first. He was meeting me there.
Yeah, but you didn't even see him walk past you. So could he have been there already? That's what I'm saying.
No, because when I arrived, his car wasn't there.
So how did he manage to walk past you and get to the patio?
So the place where we were meeting up at, like where I sat, to get to the patio, it's like a separate area. So I wouldn't have like seen him come into the area. So he really would have had to come in and address me like at the bar. So it's giving like you see me when you come in, but I couldn't see him come in type of thing.
So he saw you. What? Wait. He saw you when you walked in the door.
He had to know where I was. I'm at the bar.
Past you, then decided to call you and say, "Hey, meet me outside."
Yeah, he didn't want to pay for the food, for the free food and drinks. We're gonna be honest, because clearly, to me, it sounds like she was trying to use him for food and drinks.
He said, "Hey, come to the patio."
No.
Because they have a deal out here on the patio. Oh, no. They got this, they got that. I said, "Oh, well, I already ordered my hookah. I already have my drink. I'm good where I'm at this point." So now he's texting me. So now I said, "Oh, I'll come see you when I finish up." I paid my tab and I just left. And then he still texts me. He says, "Oh, are you still working on your food?" Babe, I changed.
See, she paid her tab and she left. That's why she wanted him to leave the patio to come to the bar so he can pay for her tab, so he can pay for the food and drinks that she got. She was just going to use him and leave him like that. He's smart. He's smart. Shout out to that guy.
Change clothes. I'm home now. But I didn't text him back. So now my first thought is, I'm deleting your number. There's nothing to really talk about.
Yeah, because he didn't pay for your food.
He saw someone else he's dating. He saw someone else in the spot. His girlfriend, someone he's dating, somebody. I don't know.
See, that's the thing. I'm like, I see where you're going with that. It's like, it has to be that, or like you're really that slow, or you really want to be chased. Because why would I?
He wants to be chased. He has options. He feel like he's a man. That's what it is.
Okay, so here's the thing. Someone said he's broke. He's not broke. So he has money because he has a very good job, and like we've been talking for a while. So I know about financial situations. We've had dinner before, and we've like gone to like Rocksteady afterwards. You know, he has no problem pulling out his card. So I don't think it was a money thing. I think it may be a situation of where he think he's so high value that women should just do as he say.
Yeah, because if he's high value, clearly some women will do what he says. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But how many of those high value men are you going to find? Or how many of those high value men are chasing after you? Now, you're not a bad looking lady, but let's be honest. There are not so many high value. In this case, I know we are talking about men with money chasing you. Men with money are not out here chasing you like that. I could be wrong, but if they're chasing you, you wouldn't be calling in a show about a man who refused to pay for your dinner and for your food and for your drinks. You know, he's smart, because you're saying you randomly picked a day after you finished everything you're doing and you're bored, and you're like, "Hey, I would like to see you. Let's go for food." That's a foodie date. He knew you were trying to use him for some free food. So he decided to come 2 hours late when he was expecting you to have paid for your own food and drinks. And then if you really wanted to see him, you can have a conversation after you've paid for everything.
Oh, okay. Well, we shouldn't even be talking about him no more, because you already know the answer. No, next, delete, block.
I was gonna ask you, was I wrong? Am I wrong? I just got up, I left, I didn't text him and say, "Hey, I'm headed home." Like, I'm halfway down the street from my home and he's like, "Hey, you still here?" I didn't text back.
No, how were you wrong? If a man asks you to go out on a date, you show up to the date, you sit at the bar, you wait for him for 2 hours, he walks in and decides to walk past you, heads to the patio, stands outside, sends you a text, and says, "Hey, meet me out here." You don't meet him out there for 15 to 20 minutes. He still decides to call you on the phone because he feels like, Me, I'm not walking over to her.
I don't know. The experience in dating lately has been really bad.
Yeah, because men are tired of being used. Men are tired of being used for free food. Men are tired of being used for free dinner. You know, because if it's the first thing you say, let's go to eat. Men know the game these days, if we're going to be honest, ladies. You know, if you had suggested let's go to a park and walk, I would understand it's not a money issue. But men are smart these days. Now they're coming late, expecting you to have paid the tab and then you can have a conversation. You know?
Who's going to be the men? Not the boys. Who's going to be the men?
There was I seen a video that was like everybody saying who's gonna be the men, and it's like I'm not gonna worry about that because I know I'm gonna be the girl.
Right.
I know I'm gonna be the girl. What's happening?
You know, next block.
What's happening? And that's the thing. Someone said about the 2 hours. That's just how long it took me, like getting there, and like I still enjoyed myself. I still ordered what I wanted to order and eat, and I was like, all right, cool. I left once I was good and ready because I was thinking to myself too. Even if you were to have came, you were already very late with no excuse. Like excuse or not, it wasn't good enough. So I was like, am I wrong to not explain to him why I'm going to cease contact with you, or just like?
No. That's also giving you feel like there's no other options. That's what that's giving to me, girl to girl. That's what that's giving me, girl to girl. You're a beautiful girl. No.
I mean, she's good looking. Hopefully, she will find a rich man to use for free food and dinner. But men are waking up, even the rich guys, you know, because sometimes we have the mindset that rich guys can just spend money on women. They don't care because they got thousands and thousands of money and thousands of dollars to just spend. But they're also waking up, if we're going to be honest. They know women are literally targeting them. Women really want them just for the money. So they're like, hey, listen, you want some money? I'm going to need some sugar as well. If not, I'm not going to let you just use me for money and to pay for your dinner dates, and you don't want me like that. What do you guys think about that? Link down below to Ashley's channel. All right, next we got the favorite of the show, Lapif Network. They were talking about marriage and how they claim women of yesteryear, our grandmas were miserable in marriage, but the men are arguing grandmas were better wives than today's women. Is that true? Let's get into it.
But this is what I'm confused about, right? So everybody loves to talk about back in the day, it was a higher marriage rate, right? That's what the parents expected of that man to do. When he wanted to take her out on a date, they expected him to show up and be able to pay for that date. They expected him to open the door. It was normal for a man to show up to take you on a first date with flowers. It was normal for you to expect the man to pay all your bills. It was normal. These were things. Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. There was nothing normal about paying somebody's bills on GP.
I'm saying like to not dating. No. I'm saying once you get into the marriage and into the whatever, like certain things were expected, right? I'm talking like broad spectrum. When people are talking about their expectations, when you are on that first date, if you hear something come out of that woman's mouth several times that doesn't align with what you're willing to do, instead of telling her, we'll lower it or change it, or that's why you're not married. If you know you can't do it, just walk away.
You know what was, you know, it's funny, they always set expectations of men. You know, when they talk about back in the day, what men used to do, there's something they always leave out. They leave out the part of what women used to do. They talk about back in the day, men used to pay for all the bills. Men used to protect. Men used to go work, bring the check, and give the whole check to their women and let the women spend the money how they want. But they never talk about what back in the day the women used to do. The women used to stay home. They used to cook and clean and not claim it was slavery. The women never used to raise their voices at their men. The women never used to use sex as a manipulation tactic and let men be in sexless marriages.
What time frame are you referring to when
she's talking about
for a man to come in and provide? Are you talking about the back in the days?
No. See,
I'm asking Laisha.
No, so the problem with what Laisha said about that time period, right?
Yeah, what
Those
time period
men,
was
hold on,
that?
she's talking about the early 60s or whatever when she talked about courting back then.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
Hold on, wait, Bruce, hold on. So the problem with that assumption, right, is that men was definitely able to be themselves back then because every woman wasn't getting an expensive date. A lot of the times the date was just going up to the creek and looking at the moon or watching the sunrise or a walk in the park or a quick, like they weren't when you went and took a girl if you ask your grandfather what was his him and his wife first date, they would tell you it was probably more than likely something simple. It wasn't what is expected today where you're expected to go all out. A man was able to go up to a woman and be himself.
You missed.
Yeah, they would just you sit on the street, go walk in the park, you know, do something simple, go get some pizza, whatever they were doing. It wasn't a $500 dinner date. It wasn't a $200 dinner date that like the women these days ask men to do on the first date. And if you don't do it, you're broke, you're dusty, you're not a provider, you're not a real man. A real man takes me out on an expensive dinner date. And then chances are 99% chance she's going to ghost you.
It was more transactional.
When you missed one thing, you missed the critical part. When she stated that back in those days in the 1960s, it was expected for the man to come in and provide. Correct, Laisha, right?
Yeah.
She didn't compensate for the type of women those women were back then.
Facts.
It don't even matter.
Those women, it did matter.
I mean, it don't matter in regards to courting because, like, obviously men and women are different today. I wasn't even talking about the part, like the whole provide. There was never no expectation that a man had to provide upon courting. That was never an expectation.
No, I'm not
talking about that. About the children.
What I'm saying is,
after you got once you got her in a relationship and a marriage, there was an expectation of providing.
But
courting, going on a date,
that's not true.
I got
there was an expectation that the man was supposed to be provider and protector.
Yes.
This stuff fell apart.
Yes, but not during
women
the
got the
courting
right
phase.
to open
No,
up their
in
own
the
bank
courting
accounts.
phase.
No, he wasn't.
Excuse me, from a woman. When I was growing up, I was a teenager, and these older women. This is in the 90s. These older women. I sat in the beauty shop, and they told me, "Don't you talk to no man unless he doing something for you. He got to be paying something. He got to buy you something. He got to do something for you to show you that he like you. You don't give him nothing. You don't talk to him unless he come with some money."
Yeah, they were teaching you how to be a 304. They were teaching you how to sell your body, if I'm going to be honest. And you're talking about 1990. We're talking about 1960s. 1990 feminism was already going on. Why is she talking like as if the women talking to her in 1990 were the same women from 1970 and married in 1960?
I thought that was absurd. Don't get me wrong, but I can guarantee you, them older women
used to say a wet ass and a dry wallet don't mix.
That's true. I don't know why that's the
30
argument.
years ago, I was being taught that.
I'm agreeing with you, Laisha, on that. I did the research on that. The men were expected to do it, even if they couldn't do it, and sometimes they all work together.
What bill was a man paying back then when he took if a 17, 18-year-old dude went up and took a girl on a date because the average age of marriage back then was like 21, 22. When he walked up and he was gonna pay, who bills was he paying? Because it wasn't her, because she ain't got no
right now. In the 1960s,
she ain't got no damn bill. She lived with her parents.
Well, this is my understanding. In the 1960s on back, the women were mostly, I would say overwhelmingly, mostly homemakers.
Right.
A lot of them couldn't even open up their own bank accounts until what date was that? When a woman can go and open up her bank account.
Like the 70s.
First of all, the men were for providers. It was actually an expectation. But my argument wasn't whether or not it was an expectation. My argument still stands that I'm granting you the argument regardless. If the men were expected to provide back then, think about the type of women, the mentalities of the women that they were compelled to provide for versus the women now.
Facts. If men back in the day were expected to be providers, to provide and protect, go work, bring the whole check, So let's say you get paid on Friday. The man will get the whole check, all his money, and give it to the woman. But guess what? That woman never raised his voice. That woman never told him he ain't shit when she didn't like something he didn't he when he refused to take out the trash. She didn't call him names. She didn't refuse to give him any intimacy. She didn't let him be in a sexless marriage. She didn't say, she doesn't need him. She's independent and strong. So back in the day, the men were expected to be providers, but the women were also different. So for women to have the same expectations of men like back in the day, but they're completely the opposite of the women back in the day, is not fair to men.
You have women that can be provided for today and still will push back on your ass.
Facts.
But here's the opposite side of that. What is it that, from the woman's perspective, right? When we're talking to our grandmothers and they're not having the same conversations that they're having with us as their granddaughters, as they're having with you as their grandsons. Because what I'm trying to get men to understand is these men are saying, oh, our grandmas were such good women. They were married women. They were this, they were that. And they're coming to us and saying, baby, don't be like me. I was miserable. Then what are we to do with that information when the man is praising this woman for being this way, but she's saying she was this way and absolutely miserable?
Okay, I have an explanation for that. For the grandmas or the older women who say they were miserable, it's simple. There are no perfect marriages. There are no perfect relationships. And usually misery loves company. You guys know that saying. So guess what? The women who are miserable in their relationships, they were not perfect either. You will get their husbands and they will say the same thing. Don't get married because this woman will treat you like ABCD. Guess what? The only issue is those older, bitter, miserable women in their marriages tell the young women that, oh, men will do ABCD simply because they had bad marriages. So guess what? Those same women will have the same mindset when they grow up and trying to deal or be in relationships. They're always going to have a negative perception about men. That the only issue I have is, okay, you're going to tell these women, don't get married because marriage is slavery, ABCD. Fine. As long as you don't tell them what to expect from men. Because on one side they say don't get married is slavery, but on the other side they tell the same women a man should provide. You cannot have those two things go hand in hand. No.
What do you do with that information?
Your grandmama was miserable in her marriage?
I actually don't know. Sadly, my grandmother passed when she was 8.
This is so dumb.
Right? I mean, when I was 8.
Why
but what I'm saying
is so easy like that
is that a lot of women specifically are saying that the mindset that is happening right now is something that has been passed down. Like, a lot of women do have their grandmothers. A lot of women have older moms, right? And they're not just waking up and saying, I'm going to be this way. They're having an old school woman in their ear being like, don't always keep you a rainy day fund for when that man try and leave or when he try and cheat. Don't give no broke man no coochie. Don't do. These are things that they came up with. They're telling us don't be miserable like them, but you guys are praising them. So what are we to do with that?
Are we talking about these 40-year-old grandmothers, 50-year-old grandmothers? Like, what are we talking about? Like,
60s, 70s, 80s. Hand to God, I'm telling you, this is really going on. These old, elderly women are saying, I was miserable. Don't be like me. So now...
Yeah, maybe they were miserable. They picked the wrong man. But that doesn't mean you will be miserable either. Again, if you think you're going to be miserable in a marriage with a man, just don't expect to get a man who's a provider at the same time.
Now, what do we do with that information?
Why was she miserable?
Good question.
Because she couldn't leave?
Couldn't leave what?
No, I'm asking. It was a question.
Damn, she wanted to leave her, man.
No fault divorce has been around for quite a while.
Grandmothers did not have to be married because, one, they didn't work, never had a job, didn't have much of an education. That's some of them. That was one of my grandmothers. The other one had education and a very good job, However, comma, back in the day, you didn't leave your husband. You had kids. Where were you going to go? You got multiple kids. Where are you going? You can't move in with your family. You got multiple kids. You got to stay with that man.
They wasn't stepping
Also,
back then either.
they couldn't have bank accounts. They couldn't buy property. They couldn't do anything. They had to have a man to live a life because they couldn't stay in their parents' house because their parents weren't going to keep taking care of them. They had to get married to someone so that they can be taken care of. Let's not act like that didn't happen. And that wasn't even 100 years ago.
Actually,
Okay, so granted, some women back in the day, all they had to rely on was a man. So maybe they were in bad marriages and they couldn't leave because the man was the one who was providing. So they didn't have a job, so they couldn't, divorce the man and provide for themselves. Now that women can provide for themselves, now that women have money as well, they're making money. The single mother rate has increased. Used to be like 32% in 1960. It's over 70, almost 75, maybe 80 in the next 5 to 10 years, right? Now that women can provide for themselves, single mother rate has increased. Is that better for the community that women can just divorce and become single moms because they have a job and they can provide? And let's not even forget, even if they have a job, they still want child support from a man. So she's speaking like as if a woman has a job, she's just going to leave a man and take care of everything for them by themselves. No, they still file for child support. So which is better? For a marriage, for two people to stay in a marriage, in a two-parent household for the kids? Or is it better for someone to break up their family because they got a job and they can make money and become a single parent? Which is better for the community?
To Sweeney's point, freedom broke. So to Sweeney's point, freedom broke the home, if that's the case.
Facts.
Actually, single women were able to open up bank accounts and buy homes and own property. They've always been, almost probably since like the 1920s. The only difference was that married women had to answer, like, hey, if you were married, you had to have your husband sign off on it because he was more than likely the person who had to bear the responsibility of the debt. But a single woman could open up a bank account if she wanted to. She was not hindered to. It just so happened that most of the women back then,
1960s.
No, that's for women. That's for women who are married. Single women were always
women. Period.
No, it wasn't women. Period. You got to read the article.
Okay.
Can you share the article that we're talking about?
Well, I just looked it up. Here you go. Voting rights, 1920, women gained the right to vote in 19th Amendment. Bank accounts, 1960 to the 1970s, women began to open bank accounts more freely. That's not including Black women because we know there was a lot of bias. If you was a white-owned bank, you still, even though they gave Black women the right or women the right, they still had pushback as if Black women open bank accounts until we really got some traction on that. 1974, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act made it legal to deny a woman credit or bank account. So 1974, they came in with a equal credit opportunity that made it okay. So it made it illegal to deny a woman credit or bank account. And then,
so people could just deny me a credit card because I was a woman, not because I didn't.
Yeah.
So let's not act like
before
whatever reason they chose
wasn't a thing.
Before that date. Now
the thing was that the reason why a lot of women weren't able to, they had the ability. It was never illegal for them to not open up bank accounts as single women. The problem is that single women never really had the income or the ability to a lot of the times, and they often required co-signers. So it was more difficult for women to open up bank accounts because of the financial aspect of it. So it was easy to deny a woman. So she often would require like somebody to co-sign for it. Y'all know how people felt about co-signing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So that's why
banks used to require a husband's signature.
Yeah, if she was married, she required a husband's signature. But if she was single, she could get one. But oftentimes, if you're a single woman, you didn't make
regardless of marital status.
How you? No, I'm telling you right now.
She had to go and get married. I'm telling you.
No, she did not. I'm telling you, she did not have to go and get married to open up a bank account. I'm telling you.
Why would they make an act? Why?
I definitely gonna make some research on that, but I've seen that back in the day, there were women who are business owners. So clearly they had bank accounts. There were single women who used to have businesses back in the day, but they were single, but they were mostly white women. So they had access to banks and they were not married. So clearly they could have bank accounts, but I think banks just had more strict um rules for women to open bank accounts if they're not married, because if they didn't have a business, then it was going to be tougher, I think.
Why would they make a hold on real quick? Why would they make in 1974, why would they make the Equal Credit Opportunity Act? Why would they make it illegal to deny a woman credit?
Because people were discriminating.
Because people were discriminating.
Let me finish the wording so we can understand the context of why the wording even exists. Why in 1974 did they make an act that made it illegal to deny a woman credit or bank account simply because of her sex or marital status?
Because
so why would they include marital status in the link?
Let me explain it.
Before this, banks often required a husband's signature. So if she was married,
because the point they were making is if they were single, they weren't able to get bank accounts, and this what Sweeney's saying debunks that.
But even if she was
had a marital status, if her marital status was married,
if she
okay,
I'm telling you what it was.
All right, I'm gonna. Looks like they all don't agree, but I know for sure there used to be some business women who had access to bank accounts and were not married. But I just know they are white women, Caucasian women, So that's the part of history I know. I'll have to just, do more history about that. They weren't into the whole history and bank accounts. I wanted them to focus on the marriage aspect. So link down below to finish the video to Lapif. All right. Next, we have Lapif. This is an older video, but I found it in my vault. So let's go.
I completely agree with what Shan is stating. I don't see an issue with dating people when you're in your dating season and you're trying to find your right partner. Of course, you're going to date multiple people. Now, my whole thing is I always think it's important to have conversations before you even start going on dates, right? Because I feel like with a lot of men, once they start spending money on you, then they assume they should get other things from you. And that's where more pressure comes in. So then let's spend a little bit more time just talking to each other. Can you hold a good conversation? What do you like to talk about? What are the things you're interested in? And that's how you're able to vet people out and see if you would like to take that next step on going on a date with them. But there's no issue in having conversations or dating multiple people if that's what you want to do. You don't have to sleep with all of them like everyone else is dating, but it doesn't make sense to meet one person and be like, I'm locked in. That wouldn't make sense at all. No one does that.
It's not being locked in when you meet one person at a time. It's more of like, okay, I'm going on a date with this girl. By the end of the first date, I should realize whether I like her vibe, and then we can plan a second date and a third date. But if I'm going on a date, I like this girl, and then tomorrow I go on another date with a different girl. Tomorrow I go on a different girl and different girl. I'm never gonna find everything in one person. I know for sure I'm never gonna find someone perfect. But if I have multiple, my attention is gonna be pulled in so many directions that I won't even be able to give someone enough time to get to know them, because I'm giving my time, sharing my time between so many people. So guess what? At the end of the day, chances are someone is going to do something I don't like, and then I'm going to be like, you know what, to hell with you, bye. And then I'm going to move on to the next girl, and then she's going to do something I don't like. But because I have 5 more in the vote and we're going to go to dates with, I'll just simply, give up and ghost people because they did something I don't like. Only because I have the perception that I have so many options. And that's what usually happens to women. If this guy takes her on a date that is only, to get ice cream, but this guy offers a steak dinner date, she's going to choose this guy because this guy didn't offer an expensive dinner date. And then if this guy takes her to a steak dinner date, but this guy offers to take her on a trip, then she'll be like, you know what, this guy treats me better because he took me on a trip. And then, so that's what happens when you date so many people at the same time. It gets your mind messed up. Your attention is divided. So at the end of the day, you're never going to make a good choice.
Go ahead, Amir.
My father told me that men are very territorial. And I don't know about the dating world. I may be a little ignorant about the dating world, but I would give advice. Women, don't have, even if you're not having sex with a man, do not, your image is everything to a man, because men don't like to be embarrassed. And if a man is trying to take you seriously, even if you're in the beginning stages, if he is talking about you to his friends and they've seen your picture, and then you're out with another man that you're not having sex with, you're just out because you're so-called dating, it is going to turn them off. I recommend women, if you want to date, do one at a time. Do not have a bunch
Facts.
of men, as you call, roster. Do not do that, because your image gets decreased. The way you look, your image, you look cheap.
Facts.
Sorry.
And there is no man that I know, unless he doesn't really care, he's just trying to clap cheeks. You know, he's just trying to get in a quick 1-2 and then leave the woman. There is no man of substance, no man of value who respects himself will ever go on a second date with a woman if she tells him, hey, I'm dating you, but I have a couple other dates with other guys that I'm seeing. I'm trying to see who's the best option. No man is going to be like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. Go on dates with those different guys. I'll be here when you come back. No man is ever going to do that. No man of value or who respects himself. Now, most guys assume women are dating different guys, but if a woman comes out and says, hey, listen, I'm going to go on a date with you, but tomorrow I'm going to go on a date with John, and then on Monday I'll go on a date with Sam, most guys are going to be like, no, that's not the girl for me.
Sorry, what were you saying, Jer?
No, I was just saying tarnished. Go ahead. You said it looked cheap, and what else?
Tarnished, thank you. That's the word. Your image is tarnished. It is tainted because you start looking cheap, even if you're not having sex. But the thing is, the men can't verify that you're not having sex. All they can do is go off your word, and women lie.
They can't verify that they got a roster either, right?
The best thing to do is to keep it clean, one at a time. If you're interested in one guy, don't talk to other men while you're going with him. If you're not interested with him no more, then move on one at a time. But do not have a bunch of men that you're going out with. It looks bad, it's tacky, and it makes you look cheap.
Amira, are you Muslim?
Yes, I'm Muslim.
Okay, most of these men are not Muslim.
So
it doesn't have anything to do with Islam.
Yes,
it's not about
Islam. Because I used to be a Muslim, and in the Quran, you're speaking from things that are religious.
In the Quran, we don't date. So this has nothing to do with the Quran. This is talking about your topic. So it has nothing to do with my religion. You don't need to bring up my religion because it has nothing to do with you or the topic.
Oh, it does have something to do with me, sweetie, because I was Muslim, actually.
Yeah, but you're not. Maybe you are, you're like Brittany Renner, trying to be a Muslim when it benefits you. And when it doesn't benefit you, then you turn back into Christianity, because we know Christianity is not as strict as Islam. So you are probably a fake Muslim.
And my last name is Hassan. So, sweetheart, you're not the only Muslim on the panel.
But she's not talk about religion.
I'm very educated on the Quran. So I brought that up. Let me just finish, and then I'll let you get it.
Okay.
I brought that up because we're talking about a different demographic. And if a Black woman was to date one man at a time, which we typically try to do, we're the most unmarried women on the planet.
Fair reason.
So we have to be dating men that actually want to marry us, right? That actually, like Darwin said, are intentional. So if we have a group of men that are not intentionally dating us for marriage, you want us to date one at a time?
Yeah, go on a date, ask some good questions, figure out whether you're on the same page. Are you marriage minded? Yes or no? And then you can move on to a different guy. But dating 10 different men at the same time doesn't mean you're going to get married.
You gotta fill the room out, because I know
do what you want.
Another world, but you gotta fill the Black community out if you're gonna come speak with us. Like, kind of identify a little bit with us.
You can do what you want. I just give my advice. You can keep your roster and you can keep looking cheap in front of the world. That's your business.
I think Amira was saying, hold on, Allie. I think
looks cheap.
Hold on. Allie, I think what Amira was trying to say,
baby, that makeup is cheap, and that.
Hold on.
They told her she's gonna look cheap, and she went off. Look at the face. No, I'll say, some of you guys don't agree probably, but I'll say, even if she's loud and aggressive, she's a good-looking woman. But Amira just hit the nerve. Oh my God.
Hold on, y'all.
But
Wait a
listen,
minute.
hold
on, pause.
listen.
Everybody pause. Everybody
Hold on, y'all.
Wait,
Hold
Queen,
on.
let me try to
Everybody
get the
pause.
women.
No, wait.
Amira was trying to say it's
Hold on.
not what you do, but it's how you do it. The fact that Kendra G came onto that show and was saying, I got a roster, it was kind of tasteless. I would never be like, oh yeah, I'm on this dating scene. Y'all see me right here, and I got a roster full of dudes that it's just you just don't want to market yourself in that manner. But what Ali is saying, that's not something we're marketing, but our reality is, in order for us to find a quality man, that's what a lot of us have to do, because a lot of us are raised in fatherless homes. In order to fill out what a good man is, we have to get to know them. We have to keep our options open, or we'll waste a lot of freaking time. And next thing you know it, those years that y'all say are so precious, 25 to 35, have went past because we was trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that. So I get what you're saying. I get what y'all both saying. I just think Amira was specifically speaking on the clip, which was Kendra Dree, and for her to market herself like that, it's like, what do you think your chances of finding a husband is now?
And Amira,
Yeah, but dating multiple men doesn't mean you're gonna find the right man. I don't know in which world this makes sense to them, right? Like I said, let's say you're dating 3 guys. One guy is gonna offer you a coffee date. One guy is gonna offer you a steak dinner date. One guy is gonna offer you a trip to Cancun, or everything on the first date. Most of you are gonna choose a guy who's gonna offer you a trip to Cancun, and then you're gonna assume that's the good guy. And then you're going to assume the guy offering you coffee is not a good guy. But dating all 3 at the same time is not going to help you select the good guy, or who is the perfect guy to get married to. It's just going to confuse you, because you think whatever they're investing is what dictates who a good guy is.
Also said that it's cheap to be on a date with a guy and then his friends see you because he's shown his friends your picture. But in our community, a date is a date. A man is not taking one date seriously. He's not, a Black man ain't going on one date and saying, most Black men, I'm generalizing, most Black men are not going on the first date and saying, this is the one, and start pursuing her hectic and courting her like that. So we're left out here. You know, most times after the first date, you might not hear from him because he has other women that he's dating. And we have to respect that. And it doesn't make you a hoe or look cheap because you're out at a 5 Michelin restaurant, or you going out of town with the guy and his friend that he showed. That makes him look stupid because he showed his friend prematurely. You didn't even say you was going to be with him. Y'all are not committed. So this is not making nobody look cheap. It actually makes them look like a hot commodity because they're like, dang, is this her? And she's the topic of conversation.
Why can't we generalize now?
So wait a minute. Before we move on, we have to remain respectful. And that's on all parts. We can't be, first of all, out of respect for the platform, we can't be using a hard R. He can get his channel taken down for that. We can't be, you know what I mean? And out of respect for the.
I apologize right now for using a hard R. I'll say nigga, but I say I'm proper. So I'm sorry that I said the ER. I apologize to the whole panel and to everyone who heard it. It slipped out. I don't normally, I'm proper. I enunciate. So
No, you're not. Ali, you're not. I mean, you look good, but the moment you start speaking and talking, the aggression, the being so loud, and it's like you can speak, make your point in a calm way, the way Amira was speaking. Like Amira just simply said one thing and you're going off. You know, like she's a good-looking woman, but the moment she starts talking, oh my God, like I wouldn't be able to listen to that all day.
I'm sorry, nigga. I will say that, okay? I won't use that word anymore. But I'm Black. I'm mixed. I'm mostly Black, so I can say it.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
I think we should probably just refrain from using the N-word period if we can. That might be the best solution in that way. Go ahead, Sweeney.
I think that was pretty much all I had to say outside of that. I think Bruiser had a question that he wanted to ask, or he had something that he wanted to add. And I'll just follow up behind him.
Well, I think, yeah.
Yeah, pause. I mean, I think I got it off, but I'm pause. I think I landed it earlier.
All right, man. Shout out to Lapeef. That's almost the end of the video. That I just wanted to react to this to show you guys that hey, listen, women's new dating strategy. I mean, probably has been going on for a long time, but they believe dating multiple guys at the same time will help them get married quickly. That's if they even want marriage. Most of them just want weddings. They don't want marriage. They don't want to be wives. All right. Next up, we got Lapeef, man. Lapeef is in my vote. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're talking marriage. We're talking grandfathers. We're talking grandmothers.
So I got a question for you now, Bo. So if your grandmama met, let's just say your grandmother looked at millennial men. Which generation would you say? Which generation would you say she would think is actually better, millennial men or the men from her generation?
It depends on which grandmother you're talking about.
The ones that you're talking about.
If you
the ones that say that they men ain't shit.
If you're talking about the grandmother from Mississippi, she would say, not these men nowadays. If you were talking about the grandmother on my mother's side with a little bit of sense, she would absolutely love the new men of today.
So basically, so what's crazy is we are supposedly millennial and Gen X men, and potentially, I would say potentially Gen Z. I don't know what's going on with them just yet. Are supposedly better men than our grandfather, and yet we don't get women as much as they do.
Because we have the freedom to choose whether or not we want you.
So y'all got a better man than your grandmother has, and y'all are still saying, "Nah, we good."
But see, better is not good. It's just better.
But what
the bar was in hell when it
wasn't. The bar was not
I
in
think
hell.
a lot of people are forgetting that the concept of dating means I agree to deal with you. And if most people think I agree to deal with you equates to I'm willing to remove myself from my own solitude to deal with you. Are you more peaceful than my own solitude?
Thank you.
But y'all don't.
I mean, it's funny how they switch. They switch up. The double standards are crazy. When men ask for peace, they're like, "Oh no, you should be peaceful already. You don't. No woman should bring you peace. You should have peace." But then when it comes to them, they can ask for peace when it comes to dating. The fact of the matter is, our grandfathers, didn't have to pay all the bills. Our grandfathers didn't have to take women on $200 dinner dates or $500 dinner steaks. The fact is, our grandfathers were not asked how much money they made to qualify for a wife. The fact is, our grandfathers didn't have to watch women twerking and then the same women asking them to marry them.
So like y'all solitude.
This goes right back to the same thing. Right? Because if you're talking about the bell curve, right, no matter what you may think of the men, there's always the median. And we're talking about the bell curve. The average man is not good enough for you. So that would mean that you want a man who is exceptional. So then you have to ask yourself the question, what is it about you that is exceptional to match with this exceptional man compared to your peers?
Good question. They always have a list of what they expect of a man to do. They have a list of what they think a good man is, including the money, right? Let's be honest. To them, a good man is one who has money. I've said that like 1,000 times. But they never have a list of what an exceptional woman is. Let's see if they have an answer.
And every woman gonna say she's an exceptional woman.
So what do you mean by exceptional?
Exceptional. Okay, great. I got that. Look, so all right, so we're talking about the bell curve. We're talking about the average, right? Most people are average. There's a couple people who really suck, and there's a couple people who really like on the top of their game. Most women don't like the average man, right? Most women's complaints.
Give me an example of the average man.
These dudes are not good enough. The average man, well, let's go with incomes. The average man is 5'9". The average man makes $50,000 a year. The average man is not that charming. The average man is not a comedian. The average man is not that charismatic. The average man is just regular, and it's just okay, right? And just either good enough or not good enough. Right. And then when you get into the exceptional, it's more desirable. Right.
But no
Right.
flowers every day?
Hell no, no flowers every day. The average man is not going to do a $500 dinner date. The average man is not going to buy you a new car. The average man is not going to be able to afford 3 trips every single year. The average man is not going to be able to go out every single weekend to take you out. The average man is not going to just accept you and your kids from other men.
And the average man can't afford flowers every single day.
Exactly.
Like that. You know what I'm saying?
What is the woman's? Hold on, I got
Well,
a
we
question
know
for you.
that.
What is the woman's equivalent to flowers every day for a man?
Nothing.
Sex.
Nothing.
So for
Sex is cancels out.
I don't
It's
think
neutral.
it's sex. I think
No.
Ah,
What is the woman's?
Flowers
What is the
every
woman's
day for
equivalent
me,
to
huh?
flowers?
depends on the guy.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I don't want to
so
hear that.
for me, across the board, it's a conversation. I want you to have a conversation with me. I like conversations. I like intimacy. I like pillow talk. That's the equivalent for me to flowers every day.
I think the equivalent.
Yeah, but men don't want pillow talk. The equivalent of flowers every day for a man should be what a man wants. The pillow talk and intimacy and all those, intimacy, sure, and it's gotta be sex, because for men it's sex. Intimacy for you may be cuddling and holding hands and all that shit. Most guys don't want that. But the pillow talk and things like that, most men don't want that.
For men would be acts of service, things that make his life easier consistently.
Exactly. Good girl. She's a nice one.
Right? So if the material equivalent for women is flowers, then whatever the male equivalent would be anything she does to provide a space where it's easier for him.
Why
mentally.
You know what? You
Why
see
isn't it ever what he wants?
Oh, my bad. I think I answered the question wrong. Oh, what is men's equivalent to flowers?
Don't feel bad, because I don't think any of the females on the panel are going to be able to answer
You know
it
what
correctly.
the equivalent of flowers is? If you, all right, no. If you was a woman, hold on, wait. Yeah, if you was a woman, told your man, you know, you used to always give me flowers every single day. Don't you? I'm sure every last one of y'all have heard your man say, "Man, you remember that thing you used to do that I don't never do? Like, why did you stop doing that?" And then you give him a whole bunch of reasons why you quit doing it, or why you ain't in the mood, or why you don't feel like it. That's how we feel when it comes to flowers. God damn it, shit. I know I used to do it, but I don't feel like it no more.
Yeah, but the difference is, for a man giving flowers to a woman every single day, she's gonna get tired of it. Because we know women get bored easily. Let's say you bring the same rose every single day. She's gonna get bored. She's gonna become boring. Especially when she meets a guy who doesn't bring the flowers. Now that's the guy she wants, because it's like, she's used to you. She knows what time you're gonna bring the flowers. It's not gonna mean anything to her. You know?
I got tired. I just don't feel like going to the store. I got to get home, got to get work. We got these kids in the house. I got to hurry up and get home because you told me you need me to fix the goddamn garbage disposal. So I'm sorry that I wasn't able to stop by the store and get you some goddamn flowers. So now I'm here. Just like y'all tell men when he say, "Man, you know that thing you used to do this all the time." Man, you be like, we got kids. The kids was bothering me all day. I had to put the baby in the bath, and then I had to cook dinner, so I don't feel like doing it. God damn it, sometimes we don't feel like doing it.
So you speaking from a
And that's
personal
the divorce.
experience,
And the divorce rate mirrors that, because at the end of the day, despite all of the obligations and responsibilities and duties that are put on your plate, we still have to connect and have intimacy. And that's exactly why the divorce rate.
The divorce rate is that way is because there's a lack of understanding. We have to understand y'all while y'all are telling us that you're not willing to understand us. Because because men would tell you, all that shit, you would tell us, "I'm tired, I don't feel like," and he'd be like, "All right, babe." And then he'll come and ask you next week. And then eventually he'll just be like, "I guess it is what it is at this point." Y'all would sit there and tell him, "You ain't bought me flowers, and I ain't been getting no flowers. I'm tired of this. I'm you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and leave." We've been conditioned. The modern man. I don't know about the men of old, but I'm gonna tell you, the modern man has been conditioned to accept whenever y'all tell us y'all ain't in the mood, you don't feel like it, it ain't in the cards tonight. Fuck you. We've been conditioned to accept all of that shit, and y'all been conditioned to say, if he ain't willing to do it, somebody else will.
Facts. You know, they always say they got options, which they do, married or not. You can find that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women on this panel. I think this lady is the only married one. I think this one is divorced. This may be single or in relationships. But I can guarantee you, no matter what you think they look like, they all have at least 5 to 10 guys in the DMs who want them. No matter what you think they look like, good or bad. So at any one point, they always say if one guy won't do this, another guy will do it, because they always have those guys, whether they want them or not. So they don't care if they make a man, the husband, be in a sexless relationship or marriage. They always say the next guy will do it.
Well, shouldn't he try to, like, as a married man, right? Like, so he just resigns himself? Shouldn't he try to find?
No, we're told to figure it out. Hey, maybe she don't want to do it this way. Maybe she got it. Maybe you got to twiddle her thumb and rub her feet every night. And then, what did you do to get him?
But that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Good question.
You get what I'm saying? What did you do to get him? What did he do to get you? We're told to figure out what we had to do, what we did to get you. So you got to start doing that thing again. Y'all are told
they're the prize.
When it comes to y'all, we're told to accept it.
I see what you're saying. So it's
yeah, they're the prize. They claim they're the prize, so the man should do everything to keep them. And if we're gonna be honest, the only reason men stay in sexless relationships or in marriages where women treat them bad is because they know once they go to divorce court, to family court, they're gonna be wrecked. Whether it's losing their house, being kicked out of the house. Because mind you guys, if a man and woman live in the same house, most likely if and they have kids, most likely if they get divorced, the man is going to be thrown out. The woman is usually kept in the house with the kids. So the man is the first person to be thrown out, even if he bought the house before the marriage. So most guys are scared of that. Okay, if I get divorced because she's not giving me any sex, I'm going to be thrown out of the house that I bought. And then she can bring new men to clap chicks in the same house I bought. So most guys are like, you know what? I'm just going to get my chicks on the side from a side girl and just stay in this miserable relationship.
an unequal standard between the two.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So
Ain't nobody got
in
time.
marriage? Are we talking about going? I'm so confused.
I guess we're talking about. I guess we're talking about because let's keep it a bang. Most people aren't getting married, especially in the Black community. Most people aren't getting married, but we still have been dealing with each other relationship wise. So we're not even making it to the altar because we're breaking up before the relationship even makes it to the altar.
Sweeney, well, first of all, no.
Okay, I'm back. My bad. I had to send an email.
They're not breaking up. They're not getting. Nowadays they're not getting together. They're not in
Or
committed relationships.
you're right. They ain't even making it to relationship now. It's just more like
It's just situationships.
It's just clapping
What's the
chicks on
narrative?
the
I missed
side.
it. What we on now?
You busy researching.
No, I was sending an email. My bad.
You got
and I did a copy and paste some stuff in a back chat as well. So yeah, I did do a little research too.
All right, man, that's almost the end of the video. So shout out to Lapeef. But at the end of the day, men have been constantly taught how to treat women, but women have not been taught how to treat men. You know, they have so many expectations of men, but they are not taught what men should expect from them. Because how dare you expect anything from me? I'm the prize. I'm the queen. You know, back in the day, maybe they used to teach them, but these days, even women who hate men, they expect men to protect them. That's how crazy it is. Like, it would be crazy if a man who doesn't like women or hates women to expect anything from a woman. I mean, you hate them, so just shut up. Like, you know, but women can hate men and still complain that men don't protect them. Crazy, I know. All right, next up we have Anton Daniels After Hours. Shout out to Anton, man, big inspiration. So hopefully one of these days Q will invite me to the panel. But without further ado, let's go.
If you're a genuine person, they'll always reveal themselves to you.
What about with regard to relationships when it comes to like men and women, right? Because what I'm thinking is, I was talking to a guy today, and it was kind of like a semi-coaching session, but I think that when I talk to guys or when I hear their sentiment, And like, for example, when a conversation comes up about marriage or something, because guys are not necessarily scared of marriage, it seems like they're more or less scared of divorce. Most guys today would prefer to be single in a situationship. They don't want a relationship because they don't want what comes attached to it. So, like, for example, what I'm finding is that more men are moving like they don't want to get too attached to women, but they like women. But they don't want to get too attached to them because they don't want the emotional aspect of what comes along with a relationship and all of the other requirements. They just prefer to keep it kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like lifetime bond.
Anton, you one of the rare people I know who possess this trait like I do. And I think you do it better than me. You know how to compartmentalize every relationship in your life.
100%.
You don't one size fit all your friends. That's why you to have friends for 20, 30 years because you
got a guy that I've been friends with since kindergarten.
Dang.
Kindergarten.
Because I don't expect the same shit that I expect from every friend. I don't expect the same from them. I know one friend, this nigga can't fight. If we got into a fight, he didn't help. I wouldn't be mad. Like you just got to know the people. And it is what Slim was saying. We are using each other, but we can do it in a good way.
You know,
I know Slim is good with fixing on cars. So when he called, I could talk him out the ledge about divorcing his wife.
Well, the thing about it though, 2K, is that some guys, they can like a girl, but they may, once the girl crosses a certain threshold, a lot of times they'll just cut her off completely because they don't want to get too attached to her. They don't want to like fall for it. They don't want to fall in love. They don't want to get into any of that.
I mean, men are scared of marriage, like he said, simply about divorce. And not because she will leave them, but more so what will be done to them in the family court system. More so the fact that he'll be kicked out of his own house during a divorce. More so that the kids he has been seeing every single day, now he has to beg and plead the judge to have 50-50 custody. Because best believe most women in a divorce are not saying, your honor, I want my baby daddy, my ex-husband to have 50% custody with me. We share the kids 50-50 and I don't want any child support. Maybe 1 out of 100 women will say that. Most women in divorce are going to ask for full custody, child support, spousal support, alimony, taking the house. Like, they will try to take every single thing from a man. So most guys are not just scared of divorce, but more so what happens after divorce in the court system, in the family court.
All the time
they limit their interaction with them so that it's almost like a protection mechanism, right? So that they don't put themselves in a difficult situation and have to make another decision.
Because they're scared. Because the other day everybody was talking about Slimmy because he didn't want to have random children, saying that he was scared, and now these men are scared of women. And that's
I don't think that they're not scared of women. I think that they're cautious about getting attached to people.
They are cautious of what happens when there's a breakup. They are cautious of what women could do to them if there are kids involved and there's marriage involved and they end. So their kids being taken away, child support and things like that.
Healthy fear.
I don't think it has nothing to do with fear.
It is, bro. It's just like you touching that stove one time. That bit was hot. Now you got a healthy fear to know not to touch this stove or check the stove not on when you near it. It's healthy. We all need it.
If I was to ever be single, hypothetically, because I don't need any more kids or anything like that. I don't plan on having no more kids or whatever. Why would I get emotionally attached to a woman?
Say that again.
Because
why would I get emotionally attached to a woman?
You're a human. Like stuff. Sometimes you just can't help it. Like.
But why would I want everything that comes along with that attachment? You talking about?
Well, you can like back away, but the initial attachment, like you can't help it.
Yeah,
You can help it, especially if you're an older man and you get some experiences under your belt, dealt with a couple women. You can help who you fall for, when to fall for her. If you've been in other relationships and every time you fell for a woman, things went sideways, because we know as men, the moment a man falls in love with a woman, for some reason things go left. It's like she starts disrespecting you because she knows you're in love with her. It's not going to be easy for you to just cut her off, no matter how she acts. So once most men fall in love, they lose themselves in the woman, and the woman just gets disgusted and she just runs all over him.
Help who we
That's
fall
what
in
I'm
love
saying.
with.
There's people that are limiting the attachment that comes with it because there's going to be more. There's going to be emotions and all of that other shit. And
see what happens is what Anton is talking about is energy, the energy exchange. So it's like when you allow people into your life, they want to vent sometimes. Sometimes you don't want that energy. You don't want that venting. You don't want that.
Right.
You wanna hey, we cool to kick it and have good fun together, but I don't necessarily want you pouring all your bad energy on me every time something go wrong in your life.
You got to take the good with the bad now.
Yeah. So now once I allow you completely in my life, and all your emotional energy, all your negative energy, including your positive, it's all getting poured on me. Now I got my own set of issues over here. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't
so
think
if I allow you into this space, now I gotta take everything. You got baggage that comes with you. I don't necessarily want your baggage if I'm single and I keep you at bay.
Listen to Slim and women. Listen, women, y'all listen. Right before y'all give us the cooch for the first time, I need you to remember what that dude is in your life and what you've been doing before you give him that cooch. Because that's now the expectations. And what a lot of y'all do is, like Slim said, give us unwarranted energy. Like now you trauma dumping, you telling me about all your problems. But before you gave me the coochie, I was down there doing bare minimum. You was just telling me about all the good shit. Now you want me to stay the same person while you giving me more to handle.
So y'all communicate that though to the women if y'all want somebody just for fun?
If you gave me the best you had based off of limited conversation, after the exchange takes place, I expect for limited conversation to continue.
In other words, men in other words, most men don't want to be in relationships where women are nagging them. To me, that sounds like what he's explaining. Because I don't think men don't want to listen to women's issues, especially in a relationship. But the nagging, when it becomes nagging, or when she makes her issues his issues, or let's say, because as men, they like to solve problems, right? Problem solvers. They want to find a solution to every issue. But if he's trying to find a solution to an issue, the woman told him, but she doesn't want him to solve the issue. She just wants him to listen. Most guys get tired of that. It's like, okay, if you're going to keep complaining about this, let's find a solution. She's going to keep complaining about her, workmate at work who hates her, who doesn't like her. And he's like, okay, leave the job, find a new job, tell your boss. And she's like, no, men are going to feel like that's nagging, because it's like, let's find a solution. And she's like, no, I just want to vent. And most guys are like, okay, for how long are you going to be venting about the same issue? And then she would turn that issue into his and make him the issue, like he's not listening to her.
Don't
you have to say that to women,
I gave
though.
you some good dick.
You got to communicate that. That's all.
I do. Like,
yes, y'all do.
You know what the problem with it is, though, Molly? You can communicate it.
Don't forget
I think it's this thing that's in women, that the more time that they spend with you, the more they're going to get emotionally attached no matter what.
Thanks.
I don't think that women can cut that shit off.
But I just feel like if you say something, they can't really hold it against you.
They will
forget. They will hold it against you.
Know in their head.
Oh my God. Why is this woman talking like as if she's not a woman? A woman will tell you something. Actually, you will tell a woman something, and 5 years later, she will use it against you when she doesn't like you. That's why once you see after relationships or breakups, women talk about, oh, he had a small dick. Oh, he's a 1 minute man. Oh, he's ABCD. Oh, he's broke. I'm like, okay, why are you saying all these negative things? But you are in a relationship with that man. So why were you in a relationship with him if you thought his mandingo was so small? Like, why did you accept it for all these years? Now you think it was so small and you're trying to shame him?
If they're not gonna get
They
close, but they won't say
absolutely
anything.
will. I didn't know that I was gonna fall. I didn't know that.
A side chick will forget that you got a whole main chick. I
She
promise
forget.
you.
She don't care.
Well, she don't forget, or she just acting stupid as hell. But she would play like that she never knew about that woman.
Well, that's kind of like a self-inflicted wound, so.
I agree.
But they can't control it. Yeah. They can, I don't think they can control it.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
you
they can. I think that men are having a harder time controlling it now more than ever. That's why you see guys can't have it. Used to be to where guys had a one-off and that was it. You know what I'm saying? It was a situation, fuck, I messed up, whatever, keep it moving. Now guys are getting emotionally attached to every fucking woman that they talk to.
That's crazy.
University.
They are falling in love
Why is
with every
that?
single chick that they talk to. I don't
I don't think so. I think men, unless they're younger guys, maybe Gen Z, but millennial men are not just falling in love with every woman they're talking to, unless it's their first woman. So I disagree with Anton on that. Anyway, man, a little bit more to go in the video. I just wanted to react to the fact that, men are scared of relationships. They're not getting into relationships, and if they are, they're trying as much as possible not to get married, not to even have kids, but more so it's because of divorce and what happens after the divorce happens that they're scared of. What do you guys think? Link down below to After Hours. All right, next up, we have the real reason men are giving up. And giving up on what? Mostly relationships. So without further ado, let's go.
I was looking at some stats earlier on that said there's been increased sexual inactivity amongst young men, which is an interesting stat. It's risen to almost 31% of men between the ages of 18 and 24 reporting no sexual activity in the past year. So that's almost doubled in about the space of 18 years.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting stat. High suicide rates amongst men. Men account for nearly 80% of all suicides in the US. The highest rate observed among 45 to 64-year-olds globally. Suicide is the leading cause of death amongst young men. And a survey conducted in the UK found that an increasing amount of men feel hopeless and worthless and that are struggling with finding meaning and purpose in the world. The plight of young men. You talk in your books and in your work about how the role of a man has changed and how that this might not be necessarily productive for the health and well-being of a man.
Yeah, we've taken away their purpose. When you take a human being's purpose away, remember the purpose for men was to protect their family, it was to hunt in the old days, feed their families, but it was also to protect their families. It was to provide for their families. And what we've done in reversing everything is, although we raised up women, and there are certainly positive things about raising up women, but when we raised up women, we denigrated men. And I have 2 sons, so this is very personal for me. And I also see a lot of young men in my practice, young adult men. And what I'll say is that they feel discouraged, they feel purposeless, they feel diminished. Yeah. And there has been something vengeful, I think, about. So the feminist movement was meant to give women choice and to balance off what was imbalanced in society. But there's something vengeful about it. I think at moments I feel like there's something vengeful about the modern feminist movement, which is, let's get them, let's diminish them, let's take over, let's push them out, let's beat them up, let's show them who's, something really vengeful. So so for me, the feminist movement was meant to create balance. It wasn't meant to set into play this other kind of imbalance. And more than, I think 60% of universities are women now, as well as graduate schools. And so that means, and the studies show that men will marry at their educational level or below. Women will only marry at their educational level or above. And by diminishing men so much in terms of our education and professions, we've basically taken men's purpose away. They feel purposeless. And
it's not even just that. It's more the fact that the same women who scream independent, don't need no man, and make my own money, they still want a man who's a provider. Yeah, don't get it fucked up. Don't think because she screams independent, don't need no man, that she doesn't want a man. No, she just wants a rich man. That's the difference. They don't want the average guy. And we know statistics show that most people are average. Women are average, men are average. But if average women don't want average men, so a woman making $60,000 thinks a man making $60,000 is not on her level. And why? Because he's not willing to pay for 4 trips to Cancun every single year. Because he's not willing to take her to an expensive dinner date. Because he's not willing to just send her $100 cash up every 2 days. So guess what? Most men are giving up. It's like, okay, if you're going to see me just for my money and my money alone, then what's the point? And also, if you're going to give me a chance, but on the side you're still looking for the richer guy, why should I play this game? So most guys are not playing the game anymore.
the other thing is, and I'm going to say, when men stay home to nurture their children, now remember, as mammals, we have defined roles. That is not instinctual for men to stay home and nurture their young. It's a reverse of something. And the issue there is that there's an inverse relationship between oxytocin and testosterone. The higher the oxytocin, guess what?
The lower the testosterone.
Yes.
So if we're staying at home bonding, then
There's
our
a reason
testosterone
for
drops.
that. So mammals, when they are nurturing their young, they don't want somebody mating with them. Go away, right? So the idea is that when a female nurtures, she doesn't want to have sex. She doesn't want to, right? So the investment in nurturing pushes away the investment in mating.
And this is why I've read so.
That sounds like a sexless marriage, right? Because we know sometimes women use, oh, I gotta take care of the kids, I gotta cook, I gotta clean, I gotta help the kids do homework. And then by the time she's done, let's say the man is feeling like he wants to have an intimate moment. She's like, oh, I'm too tired. I had a long day. And then one day becomes 2 days. 2 days becomes 3 weeks. 3 weeks become 3 months. And then some married guys are like, my woman has not touched me. My wife has not touched me in 3 months. Most guys are in sexless. I don't know if most guys, but so many guys in marriages are in sexless marriages.
So many stats around men's testosterone dropping when they become fathers. I couldn't believe that was true when I read it.
It's true. There was some studies to talk about how women's testosterone goes up. Women have testosterone. When they're out in the work world fighting like men, that their testosterone goes up. And men's testosterone, when they stay home, goes down. Now, what that's doing for sex lives, there's some research about, that is the next wave, which is, what does it do to sex lives? Because men have to perform. They have to get it up, to be crude.
Tell me about it.
And so if your testosterone is low, you're not going to get it up, right? Which is why there's all this Viagra and these patches and supplements and, because it's not instinctually normal for husbands to stay home and nurture their children. And that's the inconvenient truth. How that
Yeah, but these days women are screaming they want stay-at-home husbands. Actually, they are saying they want men to do 50-50 in the work, in the housework, not in the bills. No. Don't get it fucked up. They don't want they don't want to go 50-50 in paying bills. So they want the husband to help 50-50 in housework. So if she cooks this week, he cooks next week. If she takes kids to school this week, he takes kids next week. If she does laundry this week, he does laundry next week. But when it comes to paying rent, when it comes to paying mortgage, when it comes to buying food, when it comes to paying insurance, when it comes to buying medication, when it comes to buying gifts, when it comes to buying anything in the house, they still expect the man to go 100%. So it's confusing to men. It's like, okay, you want me to pay 100% of the bills, but you want me to go 50-50 on housework, which I'm not saying men shouldn't help in housework. I'm just saying that doesn't make sense, because it's not like these women are not working. They still want to work, but they want to save their money. So it's like the man pays 100% of the bills. He does 50% of the housework, but the woman is also working but saving her money. No, she's not spending her money, because how dare she spend her money when you, the real man, is supposed to be the provider?
Affects men's and women's sex life when women come home from their banking jobs and their law jobs. Do their husbands not want to have sex with them? And, is that breaking up? So this is all I think this is the next wave of, we've reversed things societally so fast. And then we hope that our evolutionary bodily responses are just going to catch up in merely a century. And it just doesn't, evolution doesn't work like that. It takes hundreds, if not thousands of years to change our bodily evolutionary responses, right?
It's never going to change.
Responses. So this is, it's problematic. And also when men's testosterone goes down, they get depressed. So they don't perform sexually well. They get depressed. They feel purposeless. They can't do what they're instinctually supposed to do, which is provide, protect, hunt. We talk about DEI. Why aren't we talking about DEI when it comes to men and women? Why aren't we talking about balancing the scales, giving men purpose again? And honestly, we should be talking about what happens to men when they actually do stay home and nurture their young.
Is there stats to support the idea that if you're at home raising your kids as a man, you struggle in the bedroom?
So there was some research I know that was going on about that, how it affects sex drive. But when your testosterone goes down, it does affect sex drive.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not.
Yeah, because if a man is not out here grinding, maybe going to the gym, conquering the world, he doesn't have motivation for anything, let alone sex. If we're going to be honest, you can't think about sex if you are home all day sleeping, watching movies. I don't see it happening. Like she said, if you're not building, because as men, our testosterone only gets produced if the body is working. And if you're just staying home, sure, you're gonna do laundry and cook a meal. Okay, that doesn't raise your testosterone. That's why gym or going to the gym to lift weights is one of the ways actually is recommended to produce testosterone for men. And we know men's testosterone is connected to having sex, like you said.
Not talking about it. So I have anecdotal patients. I have a patient whose wife was a hardcore woman in finance, and he lost interest in her. He had to go out of the marriage and have affairs with women who were more feminine, so he could feel as if he could play that masculine role. He couldn't do that in his marriage. And so are we going to see kind of a shift in society as a result of this? We're already seeing it. The other thing that we're doing is to young boys. Let's talk about what we're doing to young boys. This starts very young. We basically educate young boys in a way that really favors girls. From a very young age, we talk about being able to sit quietly and regulate your emotions and not be aggressive and not be impulsive. And these little boys are being diagnosed with ADHD, many of them just for being little boys. Little boys need to run around. They have a lot of physical energy. They have tons of testosterone. When you're like between 3 and 6, you have a surge of testosterone. And all you want to do is run and jump and play and be outside. And what we're doing, we're putting them in school, making them sit in circle time. So we marginalize them, we label them, we say they have a problem, we say that they have ADHD, they have behavioral problems. And in many of them, the stress that I talked about is the stress of making little boys be more like little girls.
Yeah, in fact, some fathers do it too. When their sons are all over the place, breaking things, the house, running around, they're more energetic. They don't care to go outside and run and do whatever they want to do. They're always screaming, why don't you be like your little sister? She's more calm. She listens to me. But it's like, he's just being a boy. He just wants to play. And then fathers don't play with their sons anymore. Let's talk about it. Now, especially in the Black community, there's less fathers in the house, but fathers play with their sons less and less these days. Which the father is the first man who shows the boy how to behave, discipline, be like a man, gives him purpose, gives him motivation. But if there's no father figure, the son is probably going to end up, being diagnosed and being directed by the mom, and then obviously mostly uh, female teachers in the school, and then the system.
And that's where it starts. And so then they go into childhood. And again, the educational system favors the way girls learn, not the way boys learn. How do boys learn? Boys have attention spans for very short periods of time, and then they need lots of physical activity. So ideally, if you go to and look at the boys' schools, what do? They run the boys like running the dogs in the park. They sit for 45 minutes or half an hour, but then the boys get time off to run around. And then they'll sit another half an hour, and then they'll run around. I mean, they have like 4 recess periods a day. And so that's really better for boys. And little girls have more of a capacity to sit quietly in circle time and sort of, they don't have as much testosterone. They don't have that need to run and jump and play to the same degree that little boys do. They do need to play. We're not letting our kids play, boys and girls, because we're trying to force left brain development on them too early. But we are forcing little boys into this box, and they're not doing well in that box. And then they're labeled. They're labeled as having behavioral problems, ADHD, and that label then follows them.
Yeah, that label follows them, and all the way to adulthood, from being ADHD to being too, I don't know, lack of being indisciplined. When they grow up, they're called toxic masculinity, misogyny, and all those stupid shaming languages they use.
Through childhood, sometimes into middle school, into high school. Yeah.
What would you change? I make you prime minister of the world, president of the world, and you can fix this issue.
Oh, I would have little boys educated separately than little girls in the early years. In the early years, I would have boys' schools and girls' schools, because little girls learn differently. And also, there's been a lot of evidence to show that in the early years, when you do single gender education, little girls will try things, will take risks with things that they wouldn't in front of little boys, and little boys will try things that they wouldn't take risks in front of little girls. Like little boys are more likely to try art and painting and music. Little girls are more likely to try STEM and math and, all these things that we talk about little girls should do. So the idea is that single gender education in the early years is better for little kids because they learn differently.
What about as a
Personally, what I would change, I would make sure that every boy is raised by his dad. So for the single moms who are of their sons, raising their sons, if the dads or the fathers are dead, give the son to the next uncle, who obviously it's gotta be upstanding uncle, good behavior, good character, a good man who can raise a boy into a man. So for me, that's what I would do. And I would make sure, you see how single moms get support from the government, whether it's benefits, whatever, for single moms to raise the kids. I would do the same funding for fathers who are going to be active fathers in their son's life. I would give them a little bit of money to help raise boys into men.
Relates to men. What would you change to fix the issues you were talking about with testosterone and those kinds of issues?
Talk about it. We should be talking about it. We don't talk about this issue. How many times have you heard what I just said? People don't talk about the fact that when you if we're going to flip this around and have men be the nurturers, they're going to have pretty low testosterone. You're going to have to supplement their testosterone. And so, and also you take their purpose away evolutionarily and they get depressed. Women have many sources of self-esteem. They have work, they have children, they're relational. And for the most part, historically, men found their self-esteem from meaningful and purposeful work. and also from protecting their families. So what we've done is we've taken their purposeful work outside the home away. We've made their purposeful work staying home with children, and we've lowered the testosterone. So if you look at it and say, we're trying to switch, it's like a social experiment. We're trying to change something that's taken thousands of years of evolution to create in just, less than 100 years. And it's problematic. So what would I do? I would talk about it. I would have couples talk about it. I think they need to talk about the competitiveness. I think they need to talk about the envy and the jealousy and even the disappointment. I mean, a woman who comes home and sees her husband caring for the children, on the one hand, she might say, oh, my husband's so sweet and lovely, and I love that he cares for my children. And on the other hand, she says to her friends, I wish he was bringing in more money, and I wish he was taking care, I wish he was taking care of me. So it's problematic.
There was a longitudinal study done in the Philippines.
Personally, the talking about it is a good step, but the only issue is the people who talk about these issues. For example, in that case, if it's a woman talking about it, other women are gonna call it pick me, and then the men who speak about it, they're called toxic, misogynist. They say they hate women. So most men, there is more talk about men issues men are suffering, but again, the men who talk about it are being attacked every single day. It's like if someone tries to say something positive about men, people turn it into you hate women, which is not a fair assessment. But anyway, shout out to Diary of a Daily CEO. So I'll put the link down below. The Diary of a CEO. I don't know what I said. Okay, right. Next up we got TikTok. This woman says she's making lots of money, so men are very intimidated by her, and she doesn't want broke men. She only wants rich men. So without further ado, let's go.
Of me when they find out what I do. I'm 23, I'm rich, I'm fine as and I'm an aerospace engineer. It's 10 p.m. and I just got off of work. I don't usually do this, but let's do an unget ready with me as I take off my makeup and I tell you a little bit of the selfish reasons why I like being a rocket scientist. First of all, the money. Do you know what it's like to be 23 and make more money than most people will make well into their 40s? It gives me a false perception of what my life is like right now. I feel like my problems are way minimal compared to most people's problems at 23 based on the amount of money that I'm able to have as an income. And genuinely, I feel like the money just hits harder when you're this young. Like, I'm able to put so much into my retirement. I'm able to go into any store, buy what I want. I can plan trips. I don't really have to think about it. Life is really good. This next one's not really a good or bad thing. It can be taken either way, but men start to feel inferior of me when they find out what I do. I feel like most men are on this power trip about their entire lives from the moment they're born to the moment they pass off on this earth. But when they come into account with me and they ask me what I do and I say I'm a rocket scientist, they're in utter shock. And suddenly my DMs are a lot less of like, what are you doing? Where are you at? Let me take you out. And a lot more to how do I get in the industry? Who are your connections?
I don't believe her. And the reason I don't believe her is that men are not intimidated by the type of work women do. Men are actually disgusted, turned off by women who throw their careers and their money in men's faces. The fact that you made the first thing that you said in the videos how you make so much money and you're fine as fuck, that lets me know that's the only thing you use to sell yourself to men. As soon as they talk to you, you're going to talk about how you're an aerospace engineer and how much money you make and how many trips you make. So if anything, they might be intimidated, but only intimidated by the fact that you are expecting them to spend money on you on trips and things like that. Because we know, guys, let's be honest. Once a woman takes herself on 3 trips a year, she's expecting the man who's going to be in a relationship with her to do that for her. So let's just be honest.
People will always assume I'm smarter than them the second they find out my job, which looks smart. True. I probably am. I'm really smart, studied a lot, was gifted, naturally smart. But a lot of my friends know that I'm very dumb. I make a lot of mistakes. I'm just human. I feel like people see I'm an engineer and assume I'm up here. A lot of times I am, but sometimes, remember, I'm just a 23-year-old girl. I'm just a 23-year-old girl.
She's so full of herself. Did she just say that she thinks that she believes she's smarter than most people who talk to her? I mean, she looks good, but she's not like exceptional.
So I genuinely love that people brag about me. I love when my friends do. I love when my friends introduce me to their friends and they're like, guess what Maya does? She's a rocket scientist. She's a baddie and she's a rocket scientist. I don't usually bring it up, but my friends and my family, they love to bring it up, and I secretly love it every single time. Like,
She's
yes,
full of herself.
I worked for that. Yes, yes. Even on my worst days, I remember that my degree holds such a weight that many don't even know. So even on my worst days, I feel a little bit good. Like I know my life isn't bad. I know it's just a bad day, not a bad life. That's the best way to put it.
And that's the issue. All she talks about and she thinks about and everything she thinks she is worth is her degree. And many women do this mistake all the time. You know, especially if they get some money or they get a STEM degree, all they talk about and everything they throw in a man's face is, I got a degree, I'm an engineer, I'm a nurse, I'm ABCD, I make this much money, I go on so many trips. So this tells me when she goes on a date with a man, most things she's going to talk about is how much money she makes, how many trips she goes on, and the degree that she has. And she's going to be trying to compare herself to the man. She's probably going to be asking the man how much money you make, because she's bragging. So no man is going to be, interested in this. Now, she looks good apart from the nose ring and the butterfly eyelashes. Other than that, she looks okay. So I see how or why most guys will deal with her. But when she starts the bragging and this and that and my degree and the money, most guys are going to be turned off.
On my worst day, I've used that toner spray since high school, and it still makes my face feel like it's going to fall off every time, but my skin is perfect. And finally, I just kind of love the way that I'm allowed to live my life. Not allowed, but able to, based on what I chose to do. People have loved telling me my entire life, like, my life has been so easy or this, that. I literally have planted every part of my life since I was 5 years old in kindergarten, learning. Like, I've worked for this life, and it's a great thing to have the life come to fruition and to be able to live it, travel, do whatever I want, whenever I want. Truly, truly the best part. Let me know if you want to know anything specifically or anything more, and don't get mad because I love my life.
Yeah, she's so full of herself. I can see why. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, again, just because she's so full of herself doesn't mean men are not going to be in her DMs. No, men are still going to be. As you can see, the video went viral. Obviously, majority is going to be men liking it, and we can go through the comments. Let's say, girl, you need to stay. You need a stay home. Do you need a stay home wife? My husband and I aren't that serious. See, other women are gassing her up. They're saying all the men want to humble her. No, they don't get it. She ain't bragging. No, she's bragging. She was literally bragging. If she said that, if a man said the exact same thing he was saying, women will say he's bragging. He's not all that. So women love to claim their bodies and brag about their careers and their degrees. But at the end of the day, men are not interested in that. And then when men say they're not interested in their degrees and their careers, they complain, oh, how can you say my degree ain't worth nothing? It ain't worth nothing because in a relationship, no matter how much money you make, you're still going to be begging a man to pay the bills, to go 100% on your bills. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think about that? Do you think, her degree and the money intimidates men, or is it a turnoff? All right, guys, I'm back. All right, next we got Anton Daniels, man. This panel was crazy, man. I can't wait to get to join his panel. I did request Q, so hopefully she will give me a chance to join the panel soon. I know some of you guys have been asking me to join Anton Daniels' panel, but very soon, hopefully, I'll be invited to the panel. All right, without further ado, let's go.
I don't believe that women have high expectations no more. I think they lying. That's my thing. I think that most of these women are lying online, acting like, bruh, all you got to do is look at some of the dudes that they wind up getting themselves into relationships with, and you'd be like, what the fuck just happened? I thought she had all of these great. I think they lying. I think they'll take anything. They'll take anything and anyone that is even remotely representative of what a fraction of what they think that they want.
But you know why?
If they could get it and they can't get it, they can't
You
get
know why, Anton? The reason why is because it's extremely easy for the women to just leave. They can just up and leave whenever they're ready.
That ain't why.
Because
that ain't why no more.
Oh, it's a business. You can
That's not
leave
why.
a business. You can hop business
Why.
to business whenever you want to. You can start a new one whenever you want to. But when you're in the actual covenant, there ain't no hopping, code switching. There's none of that going on. When you're actually in something, it's real and you need to stay with it.
Last time I checked, women were staying absolutely too long. Last time I checked, for a woman to get up and go, I feel like a woman is way more tolerant than men are. And we can even use infidelity as being an example of one of them. For a woman to leave, women aren't leaving a whole lot of good men. There's a reason why she left. And
I'm sorry,
I don't agree with that.
Women,
I definitely
Anton literally just said.
There's a reason they left, but that don't make it a valid reason.
I gotta do one mic.
If it gets to a point where a woman is actually leaving, that woman has endured.
False.
That woman has, and we're not talking about no old booty shaking, low level grade woman. We're talking about a woman who's fully vested.
Jess, you know what you're gonna see?
Yes,
you know what I'm starting to see in my algorithm? Hold on. Jess, you know what I'm starting to see in my algorithm? And I'm gonna do like 2 review videos on it just for you tomorrow. I'm starting to see women that say being a good man isn't enough. And this is
facts. To women, a good man has to have money. They don't care if you buy them flowers. They don't care if you text them every single morning. They don't care if you call every single morning. They don't care if you call before they go to bed. They don't care if you check on their mama. They don't care if you love them with their kids, if she's a single mom. If you don't have the money that they want and willing to spend it on them, you're not a good man. Let's be honest.
The honest to God truth. They're saying that he has to be great. He has to give flowers. He has to do this. He got to do that. He got to do all of these expectations. They're saying that the trend is leaving a man. I wonder if I could just pull it up right now.
But Anton, I know what you're saying.
The trend is leaving a man.
Just because they don't cheat, that's enough.
So you're familiar with the trend then, right?
I am familiar with it because it came across my TLC.
So why are you saying that? Wait. If you're familiar with the trend and you know that I'm not capping and it's actually a real thing and it's trending, why are you saying that women are not leaving good men?
Because there are men out there who think just because they don't cheat that's enough. So for an example, women and men need different things, right? So for an example, I'm not a man. I can't speak for a man, but I'm just going to hypothesize that a man wants to be nurtured, right? He wants to have a woman to submit to him. He would love to come home to a hot meal. He would love to come home to a woman who not doing all this in his ear. But on the flip side of that, women, some women, I'm not gonna say all, but some women like romance. Some women like to be taken out on dates. Some women like goddamn flowers. Like, is it that hard for you to stop home and get me some $5 flowers?
So let me ask you a question.
Is it that hard for you to realize that I cannot get you flowers every single day? Is it so hard for you to cook me a meal every single day? Because you want me to get you flowers every day. And if I don't, then I'm not a good man anymore. Is it so hard for you to make me a meal every single day after you get off from work? You see how that works? You want a man to call you every single day, bring you flowers every single day. And if he doesn't, God forbid he forgets, or if he doesn't do it in 2 days, then he's not the man for you. Then you're signing divorce papers and going to the next man who's going to do the same dumb thing.
Question, Jeff. Hold on.
And that's all I'm asking.
Let me ask you a question. What do we like in return?
I just said that, y'all. I can hypothesize. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I can speak for men, but from my perspective, men of a woman who can throw that thing from left to right, a woman who not all in they grill, yelling, screaming, cussing, fussing, a woman who can do what is told, a woman who can cook a nice meal from time to time, a woman who makes him feel valued, who speaks life into him. I'm just giving you some things that I think that men would like. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I'll stand on it.
She's right with the things she listed that men like. But you know what else men like? Men like women who don't make small issues, who don't turn small issues into bigger issues. Like buying you a flower every single day. Like seriously. So you mean I'm not a good man because I don't buy you a flower every single day? I mean, I'm paying the bills, because she didn't say the guy is not paying bills. He abandoned his kids. No, the example she used was he's not buying me a flower every single day, so he's not a good man anymore. Now, if she said he's not paying bills, he abandoned the kids, he's not buying us food every single day. Okay, if he's not buying you food every single day, now we got to figure out why. Is he broke? Did he lose his job? Are you working? What's the issue? Because if I'm going to buy food every single day, but you're not cooking, that's something we got to talk about also. You know,
you're a man, you can speak to me.
Listen, man, Mima and them, they understood that they was regular bitches. And I know that y'all don't like me using the word. I use it interchangeably with women. I'm sorry, that's just who I am. They understood that they was just regular hoes. And the Mima and them, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, they look better than y'all. Like they were fitted in y'all. No, they looked way better than y'all. They carried themselves better than y'all. They didn't even need BBLs, and they was way more shapely than y'all.
Longer hair.
No. Let me be honest with you. Mima and them, if you go look back at Mima and them's pictures when they was 19, 20, 21, 22, they was shitting on y'all as a culture. Not y'all. I'm not talking about y'all on the panel. I'm telling you that they were shitting on y'all as a culture. They look way better than y'all. They communicated better than y'all. And guess what? They were happy with. They understood that even though they looked better than y'all, even though they looked better than y'all,
they weren't happy.
Even though they looked better than y'all,
how do you know?
They were hoes.
Even though they looked better than y'all, they understood that they was regular fucking women. And they didn't trip. And somehow, some way they stayed connected. They kept their families together.
So
and I'm not saying that they was perfect. Nobody is saying that they had every single thing together, but they did way better than y'all.
Anton, I highly disagree, and we're gonna say this. I'm sure me more than hit Peepaw up the head a couple times with that cast iron skillet.
That's the shit that was promoted to that was promoted.
A lot of women put up with stuff because they weren't financially able to not put up with it. If you talk to women from Meemaw's age, they were miserable and they wanted to kill Peepaw 20 million times, and they was happy when he died. I'm not sure you've seen the movie.
Let me tell you that.
Peepaw was happy when Peepaw died.
You know, one thing, women use this argument all the time. They talk about how women back in the day were miserable. They didn't want to be married. The only reason we were married because they didn't have money, and they ended up staying in bad marriages. They were being abused because they had no jobs. They had no money. Guess what? Women today have jobs. They got money. They make lots of money. They still want men with money. So it's not like when women started making money, they stopped wanting men for money. So if women back in the day were miserable because they wanted men for their money as the only reason they stayed in miserable relationships, guess what? Today's women have kids out of wedlock at a higher rate, less married, making money, and they still want men with money. So what's the difference?
Let me tell you the difference between Mima and them and y'all.
That they willing to get cheated on and hit upside the head.
They was trying to, no, that's what was promoted.
That is the airtime. That's what it boiled down to. If I'm willing to get cheated on and get beat upside the head.
Every dude back then was not cheating. And in the same way that it is today, you're talking about what was promoted in Al Green's music. Right?
What about
correct? We talk majority of men back then was on point. They were so on point that they could have had as many women as they wanted in real life, didn't have to worry about social media. And guess what? They still was sending for their wife and their children to come up when they found a good job out of town. They were focused on, the point that I'm making is that they were focused on family. They were definitely focused on family. They was focused on keeping a family together. And it wasn't until actual things outside of their control to a larger extent that devastated the family. You can talk about war, you can talk about drugs, you can talk about a lot of things that went into the Black community that factored into it. You could talk about certain laws that factored in to incentivize women to break up their families, but they had it together way better than y'all. I'm just telling you. That's just the fact. They had it together way better than y'all, and they wasn't miserable, and they was cool, and they had.
I mean, I agree that some women back in the day were definitely in some, if you want to call it, abusive or miserable relationships or marriages. But even women today who make money are in those relationships. Like, from time memorial, there have been good relationships, bad relationships, good marriages, bad marriages. The difference is the women who are in good marriages never speak up. It's always the ones who are in bad marriages who have the loudest voices. The ones who come from bad marriages, the one who hate men, the one who didn't pick good men are the loudest to tell young women not to get married or to hate men. You know, so that's the only issue. So until women in happy marriages, you know, I mean, they're happy, so they don't have nothing to complain about. But until those women in good relationships with good men can speak positively about men, positively about marriage and relationships, until then, feminists like Jess, all they think and all they're going to preach is men abuse women in relationships and marriages, only because they learned that from their single moms who complain about their dads. And then they learned that from the grandmas who picked wrong when it came to marriages. And let's be honest, they claim men were abusing women in those relationships. The only thing they don't talk about is how many women were abusing men, because men never speak up when women abuse them.
Had a whole lot more kids, and they figured it out, and they understood community, and they understood group economics.
The devil is
let me go ahead and just go ahead and add to that.
Hot girl summer. This is hot girl summer. This is all.
Anton, let me add to that though.
Man, let me tell you
something. The polygyny was real back then. Y'all talking about them being cheated on.
At any point, I could pick 5 and bring them all back with me if I want to, and it wouldn't even be a thing.
So I have
y'all not built like me, mine now.
No, because I don't want to get hit upside the head. And so I got a homework question for all my Daniel Israelites. Ask your grandmama how she truly felt about your granddaddy, and I bet my bottom dollar that she can wait.
I can tell you right now.
I bet my bottom dollar she can wait for that man to die.
You would be broke. You would be broke.
I don't think that experience and that narrative is like a majority of the grandmothers and great grandmothers, but I've definitely like seen videos on YouTube or like TikTok and stuff of that older generation telling women in our generation not to get married and not to settle down young because they did it so young. And you know, so I do see that on social media of them giving their POV, basically saying like, you know, no, I got married at 18, 19, 20, 21, don't do it, go live your life. They definitely are putting that narrative out there, but I wouldn't say it's like the majority of.
And I think the other thing that we need to realize is that I don't really think that people just constantly get beat upside the head. I think there was more family structure. So if somebody was getting beat up by the head, they was calling their cousins, their aunties. So I'm gonna let you know, I had my aunt call the family one time, and everybody showed up. Everybody showed up to the house when there was an issue.
And
So,
then
At one
and
time,
then
sir.
No. The problem is, I hate to say this shit. Q, all right, we about to go ahead and just get there. The problem is, maybe y'all not getting beat upside the head as much as y'all feel.
Okay, so let me go and get my fish grease and let me
No,
go get
let's
my
go.
cast
Anton is trolling now. He's trying to get the ladies to, because if you guys know Anton Daniels, 2K is not on the panel, but sometimes he says things like that to get them talking. He's good at what he does when it comes to this content shit. So I honestly, absolutely believe he didn't mean that. And I don't co-sign that. He's just trying to get the ladies riled up, which clearly is working.
Don't listen to him. Sorry, you and y'all need to get smacked in the mouths the way y'all be talking about how reckless
You
y'all
gotta do the disclaimer. You gotta do the disclaimer. Q.
Not on the
If you know
panel.
someone
I'm
that's
not on the
experienced
panel.
domestic violence, please call the domestic violence abuse center. Please.
Not on the panel.
Y'all don't get hit upside the head, and I'm never gonna get
What? So Jess, you really believe there's no woman that you've ever seen anywhere on this social media that you feel should just get popped in the mouth? No woman at all.
No, but why would a man put himself at risk to hit a woman and go to jail?
I don't believe
No. You're missing it, Q. You're missing what I'm saying.
I don't think women.
I understand all of that.
Hold on, you missed what I'm saying, Q. Q. Listen, back then, women were a man's property.
Okay, so we're gonna play what Medea say, brick ball.
No, listen. Women were a man's property, and
so he could just hit
you called the police, and they came out like, "Oh, wait a minute, y'all married and y'all having a domestic dispute. You gonna have to handle that. It wasn't no getting arrested. Wasn't no none of that shit. Like it was. You better get your life together."
So Mima wasn't happy, Anton. Mima was just trying to get inside the head.
She is. Women need a level of discipline.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I disagree with that part. Honestly, personally, I would rather women do what they want to do, and obviously, because women can do whatever they want to do, men have to adapt. It's like, okay, so you mean you can divorce me, no fault divorce whenever you want? Okay, I don't have to marry you then. Oh, you mean you're gonna use the kids against me in child support system? Okay, I'm not having no kids with you. So, or maybe some guys are getting their passports and going to Colombia, Brazil, wherever they want to go, to Asia. You know what I mean? So men have to adapt to whatever changes they have thrown at them. You're men, at the end of the day, as men, you have to find solutions to whatever issues you're facing.
Let me tell you something. Just as a woman that's been married for the past 8 years, it takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of nerve for you to want to stay and keep working through stuff that is not going your way. You have to get hit upside the head, Maya. I'm not even being, I'm being real with you, Jess, because you're not married. I'm being genuinely real with you. As a married woman of 8 years, it takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of willpower that a lot of women nowadays that are single just don't have. And which is going to be the reason why a lot of these women are just going to stay single. You got to
y'all don't fear nothing no more.
You have no fear of God. God, when you say you want to be with this person and marry,
they don't need to fear God. They need to fear a man. And a man,
because the man is over you and God is over the man.
No, they believe they are on the same level as a man. And it's even worse if they make the same money or a little bit more than the man. Don't even start to talk about if they make way more than the man, then they're gonna disrespect him forever and ever. They may settle with the guy and be in a marriage with the guy that make more money than the guy, only because that's who was willing to marry them, and they wanted to have the whole thing of, I'm a married woman. So anytime you find a woman who's in a marriage with a man, she makes more money than the guy, just know two things. Either married because of religion, so culture, parents force her to get married, or she's married because she wanted the title of a wife. But very few women who make lots of money are going to marry men who don't make as much money. But at the end of the day, they don't respect men anymore. So that's why they will never see, they want men, they can't, they claim they want men to be leaders, but at the same time they want men to be the same as them, to be equal with their men.
So the point is that y'all feel like, I think that the biggest problem with culture today is that we have not let y'all fail in a way that y'all need to.
Period.
Honestly. And I think that unfortunately the true problem in the game right now is that we got too many simps. And y'all know that y'all can go out there and make bad decisions on a regular basis. You know that, you know what I'm saying? You can go out there and have multiple kids, and then you're going to go ahead and find another sucker that's in your TikTok video saying, yeah, I married her and she got 4 kids. Like, you know that that's a possibility. So as long as the possibility is there, you're going to continue to do it, right? It's like, I'll give you an example. It's a lot of women that's out here having sex unprotected, or they get pregnant because they know that they can go and get an abortion if they want to, right? The fact that they have the option does not prevent them from doing something like we have more contraception than ever before today. However, the statistics show that Black women, not Black men, Black women overwhelmingly are the ones that suffering from STIs, STDs, herpes, HIV, chlamydia, the whole 9 yards. How is that possible if y'all the most educated? We have more contraception than ever before. How are y'all still getting all of these crazy diseases? If you are so familiar, if you understand, if you get it, if you can make the decision for yourself, why are y'all basically out running around like a third world country where it's about to be one out of every 2 Black women have an STI or STD?
Because they want to be like Sexy Red and Megan Stallion. They want to be like Cardi B. They want to be like Glorilla or whatever the fuck her name is. It's really the hip hop, you know, because they look up to more of the Sexy Reds than married women. And like I said, until married women who are happily married start speaking up and speaking positively about marriage and speaking positively about men, most of these unmarried women are going to continue, you know, having the mindset that marriage is slavery and abusive and they make their own money, they don't need men. But anyway, shout out to Anton Daniels. Hopefully one of these days, one day soon, I'll be on the panel. All right, next up we got Lapif. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Did you not just hear me speak about a lot of my exes, about how they're great guys? They're wonderful guys. There are women that talk about their exes.
So that means you ain't shit.
So are you saying you fucked that up?
No.
Facts. Facts. If all your exes were, if you had some exes who were good guys, that means you ain't shit. That's what it means. Because who doesn't want a good guy? Let me guess. They didn't have good money, so that means they're not good guys to you.
Sometimes it does not have to be one or the other was wrong. Sometimes people mutually agree that this is just not for the both of us. And then too, there could be wrong on both ends, and you all just mutually agree that you can't get back to a good spot. And that's okay. Like my ex-husband, great man, wonderful man, not for me. Not for me. He just wasn't for me.
That don't have the ring.
So now what type of man do you want? Actually, there's a smart man one time said that most women have met the men who are supposed to be their husbands and passed over them. That most women have met men who are supposed to marry them and they passed over them. So a woman is bragging that she had a good man, a good husband, and she divorced him. So how is God supposed to give you another man? Like, seriously.
Bring a truth to it. Great man.
That wasn't for me. He's very, no, we grew apart. He is extremely religious. I am not.
So that means you're a heathen.
Oh, that was a mistake off the rip.
Not at all.
That was a mistake off the rip.
No, yeah.
Why would you marry?
When you say that he's like extremely
Well,
religious.
Oh my gosh. Who raised you?
No. I'm not extremely religious. I feel uncomfortable in church. I don't like it.
Why?
That does not mean that I am not. I was raised
Thought
in
you
the
was gonna catch
church.
fire in there.
Why don't you like it?
So he was.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Why does it make you uncomfortable? That's not
Because she felt conviction in her wrong.
No, it's
Her
oppressive.
skin was gonna start bubbling.
It was a
It's a
Go to church.
Do you know how oppressive women? Do you know how oppressive church is and how weird it is to women?
But
I
Ephesians
don't
talks
agree with
about
it.
both
I don't
men,
like it.
women.
It's not for me.
But Ephesians, Jesus Christ
Hold on,
calls
they didn't tell you
both
Jesus was gonna work it out.
I didn't say nothing about Jesus. I said church. I didn't say nothing about
And
church.
so he was very church.
I didn't say nothing about Jesus. I
You
said
hold on.
church.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
I know what I know what
don't
it
do
is.
organized
I
religion.
get it. I get
He
you. Now,
does.
you said you felt uncomfortable in church.
In
What was
church.
you wearing? What was you wearing in church?
What? I wear what everybody else wore. What do you mean?
Lemon stuff and titty face. The way you dress right now. The way you dress right now.
I'm in my home.
No, I know what you was wearing.
I'm definitely gonna hold the ex-husband accountable here. I know she's bragging, oh, I divorced a good man, he was a great man, I divorced him, we're not meant for each other. And trust me, she's gonna say, now I want God to send me another good man. Like as if God is just gonna hand out good men to ungrateful women. But for me, the reason I'm saying I'm gonna hold the ex-husband accountable, look at the tattoos right here. I always tell you guys, tattoos are red flags. The man married a woman with these tattoos, chest tattoos, and you think she wasn't gonna divorce you? This is a red flag. This is trauma right here.
You've seen me at work. I wear clothes. Don't do that.
What's your Instagram?
The same thing as this.
Oh, let
With
me
a
get over
space.
here.
How you put a space in it?
Uh-huh.
No. On Instagram, it's an underscore. I know it's in between. But no, it didn't have anything to do with how I was dressed. I felt very uncomfortable in church as a child. As a small child. I didn't like it.
Let me bag up. They're gonna hit me with the child. Let me bag up.
Anybody ever try an exorcism?
Says giving Damon vibes. Oh man.
That looks like a goddess in the background. It's not like you're against spirituality.
That's me.
Oh, that's you?
That's me. I commissioned a art piece for my 40th. But no, it's since I was a child, it was just something very uncomfortable about the way they spoke about just things in general. So I didn't grow up. I grew up in the church, but I've never been one to be like, gotta go to church Sunday. I don't want to do that. I have my own special relationship. He was extremely devoted to church. I tried, don't get me wrong. I couldn't do it.
And you left.
He's a great man. We didn't hold the same values and
you thought it was green on the other side?
Well,
guys, I have a question. So, for example, this woman, right? If a woman claims she had a great man and she divorced a great man, can she ask God to give her another great man? Or should she have the right to ask for another great man? Because if this was a man who said, I had a great woman, I had a great wife, and I divorced her, do you know what women would say? You don't deserve another woman. You wasted a good woman's time. That's why men are users. Men are no good. You hate women. How could you have a good woman and you divorce her? That's what women would say. So in her case, she claims she divorced a good man, a great man, actually, in her words. Does she deserve another great man? Is my question.
What values did you hold that he didn't hold?
I'm not.
Did you initiate the divorce?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Women like you die alone.
It wasn't going. What the hell?
What?
Why would you say that?
Wait, who said that?
Jesus.
Oh my God. Who said that?
Yo, who the hell said that, bro? Boy, y'all better make me log off.
Yeah.
I'm not even that disrespectful.
Hey,
Somebody
somebody leave that damn soundboard alone, man. Leave Bo alone.
Leave her alone.
Leave my homegirl Bo alone, man. Put the damn soundboard up. Go ahead, Bo.
However, I initiated it because he was not going to do it.
I'm gonna put my hands right here so y'all know
Wait,
that ain't me.
so wait, are you saying he left the relationship, but he just didn't do this paperwork, and so
Yeah.
you did the...
He just wasn't going to do it. I paid the money. I filed the paperwork. I did all of that because he wasn't going to do it.
Do men do that? Do men act like I want to end the relationship without actually breaking it? So we do.
Yes.
He didn't act. She wanted to leave him because he really believed in God. So now this woman is trying to spin it like as if he wanted to leave the relationship. She wanted to leave the relationship because he believed in God and she didn't.
Hell no.
That's what she happened.
How does that make any sense?
How does it? Hey, how are you? Hey, my name is Bo. Hey, how does that make any sense? It happens. Thank you. I appreciate you.
She's saying in her marriage, her husband wasn't behaving like a husband and was acting in ways to encourage her to get the divorce so he wouldn't be responsible for the divorce. So she initiated, but he had already...
You're saying we're acting like
understand.
We want to be there, but we won't out.
You guys are wearing the mask.
Absolutely.
Nah, men generally don't do that. This cat.
I don't know about general. I'm just saying it happens. I'm not playing percentages or how many, but yes, it happens. Absolutely.
Men
you can't say it doesn't happen.
Man,
how does it happen?
You was playing keep away with your
I mean,
heart.
think about it. That's the only time in the world it happened. And look, it was a woman who was burning up in church. She had an extremely great man.
Playing keep away with her heart.
First of all, see, that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, it's the human relationships are far too complicated to be like, who was wrong, who was right. We were both right. We were both wrong.
That don't even make logical sense, though.
It does.
Well, that's the reason why I actually like, what were your values?
Responsibility on both ends. Both people have a responsibility, have their own things that they contribute to the failure of a relationship. You cannot put it on one person. It wasn't somebody cheated and somebody left. It wasn't somebody did something. It wasn't that.
Did you try to fix
things are just too complicated. And
she just doesn't want to take accountability, which she kind of did, but she didn't. She claimed she divorced a good man, a great man, but now she's trying to say it was 50-50 wrong on both sides. So she's trying to walk back what she said initially, trying to make it like he did something wrong, which I can agree that he wasn't perfect, but from the way she said it, she sounded like she did 80% wrong in the relationship.
And you just have to be like, you know what? Let's just not.
Did you try to fix it?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So if somebody's listening to this and you're trying to get them to understand how complicated relationships would be, it's not clear. And so that's the reason why when you said that he valued the church and so we wasn't aligned, but that's why I asked you what.
It was much more than that.
Okay, what is it that he didn't have that you had?
What he didn't have that I had, or what he didn't have that I wanted.
What?
Okay, yeah. Just answer that question then. Like, what is it that he didn't have that you wanted? Because you said that you didn't want the church. So what was it that you did want?
Personally, I just didn't feel like it was much of a partnership. I didn't feel like he communicated with me. I didn't feel like
story is the same shit.
Hold on, y'all. Let her finish.
I didn't feel like he was including me.
It's always the feelings. I didn't feel like he cared. I didn't feel like he loved me. I didn't feel like this. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign for divorce and I'm going to break up our family. Because I can guarantee you they probably had kids. You know what I'm going to do? I didn't feel he cared. So I'm going to become a single mom and get the kids away from him. I didn't feel like, it's always the feel. You break up a whole family. Cause if they break up, she's going to keep the kids. He's going to have to go over there. Now the kids are going to grow up without a dad in the house. Because it's not the same thing. Just because he's going to be involved, If he's not in the house, that's trauma building. She's making herself into a single mom, and then it affects the kids. So is the feelings.
In the relationship, like, he just did things, never consulted. Like, we didn't talk. Even when it was time to buy a house, we didn't talk about it. I tried, but everything was so separated. Everything was separate. Decisions made were separate. He made decisions on his own, right? I made decisions on my own because that is what I was shown. You do stuff without consulting me. I'm finna go buy this car. Oh, you went and bought a car and didn't tell me? Well, I didn't know that that's what we did. You set the precedent that this is how it went,
I
right?
think I know what it
Wait,
is.
so you would go buy a car without consulting your husband, or you couldn't? Or hold on, it would
Hell
no,
no.
I did. It's my money.
Why? But he's your husband.
Shit.
There it is. It's my money. But let me guess, when it comes to paying rent and buying food at home, does she buy her own food, or does she expect him to buy the food for everyone in the house? When it comes to paying rent, does she pay her side of the rent, or does she expect him to pay the rent for everyone, to pay the mortgage for everyone? When it comes to insurance, when it comes to the kids, does he pay his own share, or does she expect him to pay for all the kids and everyone in the house? And that's the thing. The whole thing of my money is our money and my money is just my money. That's the whole thing. Women say that a man's money is her money and everyone's money, but her money is her money. That's what she just said. That she bought a new car because it's her money, which lets me know this is why men are tired of going 100% of the bills, because women work and keep their money, but they expect the man to work and pay for everyone's bills while they save their money and do whatever they want with their money.
But if you can make decisions without consulting me in a relationship, that's the precedent. You set the precedent.
You're telling us exactly why.
What decision would you say would equate to something of the magnitude of buying a car?
I mean, he bought a bunch of stuff without telling me.
He bought some hair.
She's gonna lie.
New vehicle without telling me.
Did you ride it?
No.
You can't
That
ride
was
a
his
new vehicle.
vehicle. That was his.
He said that. Oh, that's not right. That's not right though.
I know why he did.
If you can make decisions on your own, you are setting the precedent. I am going to do this as well. This
Was it one
money,
pot?
you didn't
Was
give
it
me
one
nothing.
pot, or did y'all have separate accounts?
Separate. Everything was separate. I'm telling you, it never.
Whose idea
felt
was
like
that?
We
Y'all were
were
roommates.
together.
Yeah,
You see
that's
what I'm
it sounds
saying?
like. Yeah.
Mind you, this is her side of the story, right? She's not, because the guy is not here to tell us his side of the story. I think that's why this guy, everyone on the panel is missing that part. Everything, the way she's tell the story, she's going to tell the story in the way that makes her look like the victim, in the way that paints him to be the bad guy. But anyone with brains can see he's not here to defend himself. So when she tells the story, she's going to tell it in a way that it makes her look like she was in such a bad marriage with such a bad guy, even if she just said he was a great guy. So guys, catch on.
It never felt like we were actually together.
Yeah.
Even from the
Doing
beginning?
things together.
Even
from
from
the
the-
beginning.
Why did you marry him
Together.
then?
Yeah, that's a question.
No. Here's the thing. No. In the beginning, we didn't do anything together before we got married because we didn't live together. We didn't even, but we didn't do anything together before we got married. We moved, the first time we moved in and did anything was when we got married. So that is when I started approaching the conversation. Actually, I approached the conversation about joint bank accounts. He agreed that he wanted that, right? But in the marriage, I approached that same conversation. Hey, we need to look into all of this. I need to know about life insurance. I need to know about bank accounts. We need to get this paperwork together. And it was just skating past it every single time. You see?
So why didn't you have the conversations prior to marriage? Because clearly you are not taught how to be a wife, if we're going to be honest. And most people do this these days anyway. They want the marriage, but they want to be taught to be a wife, and men want to taught to be husbands. So it sounds to me like she wanted to control him, because I have to advocate for the guy, because he's not here to tell his side of the story. She's telling her side of the story. So as a man, I have to defend the guy from his point of view, because he's not here to defend himself. Because to me, she sounds controlling. She's not telling the whole story, but she sounds like she's controlling and very tough to talk to. Because most men would be willing to talk to their wives about issues like that. But it sounds like she was trying to control every aspect of the relationship. So he's just like, I'm not going to even talk to you about that.
See what I'm saying? It never felt like I did all of this beforehand. I checked on the process of buying a house. We talked about kids. I addressed all of this. Don't get me wrong. In the relationship, while I'm in the marriage, I'm moving as if we have already talked about this. I am trying to get things together. Never just.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Did you trust that he would do it without you?
Hold on, and before y'all got married, you discussed a lot of this stuff with him, right?
Yes.
So okay. It actually does make sense why because she did just say she married a man of the church. And if he really truly is a man of the church, he was operating as a leader of his household and as the head of his household. And typically those men do feel like, hey, yeah, you're supposed to consult me as your leader, but he makes his moves however he's gonna make his moves without you. Fair enough. That's how a man of that ilk would operate.
Yeah, right.
I do have a question though. Did you already have conversations about what you wanted prior to y'all getting married, to where he actually already had an understanding of what house to get, what car insurance he needed, what stuff that he needed to get after the fact, where he didn't even have to come to you because, hey, look, babe, house. Oh, y'all never had that kind of conversation?
Not like that. Not that he could just go and do it. No, not at all.
Oh, wow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so again, to me, because the guy is not here to defend himself, it just sounds like she was trying to control him or to change him. Because during the relationship, you can see at least a glimpse of what type of woman or man you are with. And that's why I'm saying, even for the guy, I'm going to hold him accountable. Because why would you go on to get married to a woman you know is not religious like you, has tattoos all over her chest? Because we know women with tattoos on their chest, they're going to have to dress in a way that reveals the tattoos on their chest. So those are already red flags. And then why would you get married to a woman who's going to want to control you all over the place? So that's on the guy. I'm going to have to blame him. At the end of the day, I know she's not going to tell the whole story. She's going to paint it in a way that he was not a good man, even if she claimed he was a good man. But she's going to try to paint it in a way that makes her look like she's a victim as well. But anyway, that's the thing for you these days, man. Women are celebrating living good men and complaining because they didn't feel loved, they didn't feel heard, so they file for divorce. And when men see this, they're like, I ain't getting married no time soon, because if they're just leaving because they feel some kind of way, I'm not doing that. So anyway, shout out to Lapif, link down below if you guys want to finish the video. Next up we have divorce lawyer reveals shocking marriage truths. So let's go.
Happy life phrase. There must be a reason why it became cliche, why it became popular.
Well, it became popular because I think so many.
That happy wife, happy life phrase. There must be a reason why it became cliche, why it became popular.
Well, it became popular because I think so many people were willing to accept the unbelievably ridiculous model of relationships that's led us to a 56% divorce rate and probably another 20 or 30% staying together unbelievably miserable but not wanting to give up half their stuff. So yeah, like misery loves company. Like everybody is sitting around going like, well, listen, women are like that. You got to spend 90 minutes with them. Happy wife, happy life. Like, and I just don't accept that. I don't accept that it has to be awful.
Why is it not happy husband, happy wife, though?
Well, in reality, it is. I think in reality it's happy husband and happy wife equals happy marriage. Like,
but why did it come into culture that way around?
Because I think there's a, well, I mean, my personal opinion on this is I think men are probably easier to please in some ways. Like,
okay,
you know, I think men are either hungry or horny. So like either feed us or have sex with us. And that's kind of, we're most of the time pretty happy. Like
Facts. Actually, don't talk too much. Don't argue, don't nag me. So sex, food, silence. Yeah, if you don't nag a man, ladies, I know you don't like to hear it. Don't nag him. Make him a sandwich. Good intimacy. He'll do whatever you want.
we're not you know, like which curtains should we pick out for the house? Like we're not that caught up in that. I don't know a lot of guys caught up in that. Like when it came to weddings, like most of the guys I know weren't when they were young men going like, what is my wedding gonna be like? I can't, here's what I'm gonna do. Like it was very like, all right, is there a DJ or a band and what will the bar have? And that's kind of what they were into. And everything else was like, cool, babe, whatever you like. Like I'm excited to see you excited. That's what matters to me.
So men are simple.
I think men are quite simple, yeah. And I think women, and by the way, this is not a criticism of men. It's not a criticism of women. And again, it's a generalization. I understand that. But like women, I think, thank God, women are much more nuanced in my experience. Like they notice more sometimes or different things. Like they're like, I think men and women bring different things to, and again, not every man, not every woman, but like I genuinely believe that we bring different gifts to relationships. And when we embrace that, and by the way, that polarity when we're dating is the greatest thing in the world. But of course, it gets challenging because this person's not just your sexual partner or romantic partner, they're your roommate, they're your co-parent, they're your travel partner, share a bathroom with them. Like you got, like, this is a whole nother thing when you get married. The French have a saying that, you know, marriage turns a lover into a relative. And the truth is, like, not any of, like, your lover, you have this sort of, you know, it's why affairs are so intoxicating and wonderful, because you just get the best parts. You don't have to, you know, pick up this person's socks. You don't have to listen to the fight they got in with their cousin. You know, you don't have to be like, I gotta spend 90 minutes with them. You know, you can actually, you're just getting the good stuff, the passion, the sex, the, you know, which again, you can have, we can do relationships however we decide we want to do them. That's what's cool about it, is the two people in it is what matters. And I think even before social media, we were very much about, well, how is everybody else doing it? Because I guess that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, I think the main issue is both men and women, we have not, over time, for the last 30 years, where none of us have been taught how to be wives, how to be husbands, how to do relationships well. Now, there's one thing that has stayed, is the first thing he said in the beginning, the happy wife, happy life. For some reason, that has stood the test of time, right? We've never heard of happy husband, happy life, right? Because like they say, men are simple, but we have not been taught to be wives. For the most part, men have been taught what to do for women. Women have not been taught what to do for men. So there's a disconnect, and hence the divorce and the bad relationships and the breakups and just the misunderstanding between men and women.
And so, yeah, happy wife, happy life was like, listen, just here, you know, like just make her happy, because then she'll shut up and you can just watch football. Like, and I mean, look, that never appealed to me. That was never interesting to me. I think a lot of people absolutely buy into that model of relationships. What's more interesting to me than people who've just given up, right? People who've just said like, yeah, I know the hard thing to do and the right thing to do are the same thing, but I'm just going to do the easy thing because it's like, eh. What's more interesting to me is that I think sometimes people screw up their relationships with completely good intentions. And the example I give in my book about this is sex. I think most people who've been in a long-term relationship will say, yeah, you know, the sex has become kind of predictable. Like it's become kind of, it's not as novel, you know? And I think that happens for the absolute best of intentions. And it would be really lovely if we just acknowledged that. Because here's why it happens, right? You get with a person, you're first dating, first time you get sexual with the person, you throw every trick you've got at that person, right? You do all the things that you think they're gonna like to see, what are they gonna like, right? Do they like the same stuff that other people like, or do they like something different? Or do they like the same things you like? And you throw everything at it. And you start, okay, they don't like that. Okay, this they really like. Oh, they make really nice noises when I do that. Okay, and you start to, and then what do? You start to get more efficient. Like, oh, I know she doesn't like that, so I'm not gonna do that, but I know she likes this, so I'm gonna do that a whole lot, right? And she does, I hope, the same thing. She does he loves it when I do this, and the sound that comes out of him when I do that. I say, what do? You play the greatest hits. You play the greatest hits, because why not? And by the way, there's only so many hours in the day, and we got some stuff we gotta get to. So let's really throw the greatest hits at each other, and we're gonna have a great time. Well, what did you just do? You were trying to make each other really happy and be a really good lover to each other, but what did you just do? You just created a routine. You just created a routine. And here's the other thing about humans, which we all know. If we've ever had a sexual partner for more than 6 months, then you've noticed the patterns. And by the way, you're thrilled with them because you're doing the greatest hits. Like, I went to see Springsteen to hear Born to Run. That's what I'm there to see. Like, I love it. Do the greatest hits. But then if they do something different, there is some part of you that goes, what was that? Where did that come from? We don't usually do that, or we don't do it in that order. And by the way, sometimes that's exciting, right? Sometimes it's like, yeah, let's have sex in the laundry room. What? We got a bed right over there. Yeah, we always do it over there. Do it in the laundry room. Like, I don't know. That's fun, right? It's fun to do something different. Well, we get to a place where now when we do something different, we start to feel like we're going to have a conversation about it. Because it's like, well, why did you do that? That's strange. Or sometimes people go, why did they do that different thing? Are they like, is it they're watching porn? Are they cheating on me? Where did they get that idea from? Is that something that they want? Did they want to start doing that? Is that part of the greatest hits and I didn't realize it? Do they not like what I've been doing? And we start to sabotage, again, with good intentions from day one. All you wanted was to make your partner happy and they wanted to make you happy. And look what you did. You made a routine. So the only way out of that spiral is to talk about it, call it out. To say, hey, it feels like things are kind of we're in a, is there anything I could do different or you might want different? And I think there's lots of ways to have that conversation.
How do we not have that conversation? Like, what's the worst way to have that conversation?
The worst way to have that conversation?
So I like how you explained that. But for me, in my opinion, and probably the opinion of many men, most men don't care for a routine. So for example, if a man is used to his woman cooking the same thing he likes, I don't know, sex 3 times a week, whatever he's been accustomed to, he doesn't mind that keeping on, right? But on the other hand, women hate routines from their men. Even if the routine is a good routine, they get bored. That's why women all the time claim he became boring. He's boring. Let's say they usually, I don't know, go to dates 2 times a week. She may want it once a week, or she may want it 4 times a week after a couple months. So it's like, men don't mind routines from women, the same thing with their women. Men don't care. They will do the same thing for 300 years. But women, on the other hand, that's why they claim to be easily bored in relationships compared to men.
Conversation, say, how come you don't do this anymore? You used to do it all the time. Or, why won't you ever let me this? Or why don't you ever try that? That's the worst way to do it. Blame, and also it's on you. Yeah, why did you do it? Or also that it's like, because immediately the person's reaction to that is going to be, well, here's why. Because of this. Well, because you this. Well, how come you never do this? And it turns into that. And I think there's a million other ways to do it, all of which are better. The best one, in my opinion, but I'm a lawyer and I'm dishonest a lot of the time, is, manipulation. I think that there's very positive, I manipulate people's emotional state for a living, right? Like, that's my job, is to make the other side scared, my client feel safe, the judge feel good about my client, bad about the other side. So I try to use my powers for good. And I think here's a great way to use that power for good. I think if there's something going on in bed that you want to try or do, and you don't want to have the clinical conversation, you don't want to call an audible in the middle of sex and just start doing something different and have your partner go, what the heck was that? I think a great one is, oh my God, the dream I had about you last night, whew, you don't even want to know. Wait, what? What was the dream? What was the dream that you had? No, I don't know. It's because I had dairy before bed or something. I don't know. I had the dirtiest dream about you. You tell me what human being, male, female, gay, straight, anybody, isn't going to go, no, for real, what? What was I doing? What were you doing? What was it? Then you tell them. You tell them the thing that you'd be interested in doing. And they go,
it was you and your brother and...
Okay.
He's good. You can tell he's talked to like thousands and thousands of married couples. Clearly he's a divorce lawyer, but nobody, I mean, it takes a lot especially to talk to people who are breaking up families like that. I mean, his job is tough.
if that's something you're looking for, I don't know how to get. I'm very persuasive. I couldn't give you an entry point for that one. But if it's something that you wanted to do, you say, yeah, I had to stream and this is what happened. And your partner may react as, oh, really? Like you would like that? And then you can go, yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It was in my brain. So I don't know. Like it seemed weird to me too. And then you can back out of it without it being a thing. Or you can go, I don't know, maybe. Because if their reaction is, oh yeah, is that something you'd want to do? I'd be like, I don't know, maybe it is subconsciously. We've tried some time.
How many times do people end up in divorce court because the lights went out in the bedroom?
I mean, how many would admit it? Or how many is it really the case? Well, because here's what I'll tell you. I would say a good, at least 80% of the people that ended up in my office, infidelity was a piece of it. So that tells me that sex is a big piece.
Yeah.
You know, because most people who are in genuinely satisfying sexual relationships with their partner aren't looking to have other sexual relationships.
Yeah. Some people are just addicted to sex, though. And I say this because I got some friends who, people always think I'm like projecting and I'm like secretly talking about myself, but I'm actually not. I've met a wide spectrum of individuals and their relationship with sex varies wildly. Some people I just think are going to cheat forever, regardless of who they're with, because they have some like trauma related to the chase and sex. I'm sure. And then some people are kind of, don't have sex at all. So on the end where you've got that almost sex addiction behavior, I'm just wondering if I guess the question there, the broader question was about how much is the lights going out in the bedroom? Does it relate to people ending up in divorce court?
Well, I remember listening to your conversation with Gad and him, you asking him flat out, like, so how much of the motivation is sex? Like, and I think his answer was like a tremendous amount of evolutionary biology is tied to sex. Like a tremendous amount of our motivation is born of sex. It's about sex, food, and not becoming food. That's like our three primary motivators. So I think sex is incredibly important. I also think sex is constantly thrown into our line of sight. So I think you can't discount that. I mean, I think sex is on social media, on like the amount of sex that is put in our face constantly now is shocking. It's shocking. I mean, compare it. Your grandfather has not seen as many breasts in one lifetime as you'd see in one visit to Instagram.
Facts.
Like, I mean, there is just so much cleavage going on.
Like if you're scrolling on IG and you don't see a naked woman or half naked woman, you, my friend, you're going to heaven, because that means your IG is clean. You don't because sometimes they give it to you even if you don't want it, and if you make a mistake of even clicking one, just wondering, okay, what brand of shirt does she have on, they're gonna send you like thousands of naked, half naked women.
You just can't even. So I think fundamentally, like, of course, it's being thrown in our line of sight, advertising everywhere. It's surrounded. We live in a sex-saturated environment.
How long have you been a divorce lawyer?
25 years.
So since that time, things like OnlyFans have emerged and pornography's become commonplace.
Yeah.
I imagine at the start of your career, the term pornography probably wasn't used much in divorce proceedings.
No, hardly ever. Hardly ever.
Is it used now?
It's everywhere now. It's everywhere. And there's a lot of unique things that I've watched evolve in my career. The proliferation of revenge porn, the number of people that have concerns about audio, video, photographs of them, because the proliferation of it is also a function of the fact that everyone has a video camera and everyone has a camera, a sophisticated camera in their hand, so there's a tremendous amount of concern about, this person has images of me, photos of me, tremendous amounts of, cheating has gotten much, much easier than it used to be. I mean, the idea of like connecting with a potential sexual partner and also having conversations with people we have absolutely no business having conversations with, and having neutral entry points to get into. So like, it used to be like maybe you see the attractive soccer mom at your kid's soccer practice and she's married and you're married. But like if you saddled up next to her and started talking, you're having a conversation with a group full of people. And if you called her on the phone at the house, that would be weird, right? But if you like message her or you add her on Facebook, it's not weird because our kids are on the same soccer thing. And maybe there's a Facebook group for the soccer parents. And then she posts a picture of herself when she was on vacation. And you say, oh, where did you guys stay? We were thinking about going to Jamaica. And then she says, oh, this. And you go, oh, and suddenly we're having a conversation and it's private. Nobody else is there. We're alone in a room. So
facts, man. He literally just described how much social media has changed dating and relationships. It's like before you had to talk to someone in your area, in your neighborhood, right? But now You can be in Kansas and talk to someone in Dubai and talk to someone in Thailand and talk to someone in Brazil, all through your phone. Oh my God, like social media, and it's getting worse. It's not like it's getting any better. That's the issue. So which lets me know marriage, relationships, dating, it's gonna keep going down. Now there's more money involved, but it's gonna keep going down. Anyway, man, what do you guys think about that? Link down below for the full video. All right, next up we got Lapif. Let's get into it.
That is why we are the way we are, and we're good friends.
Okay, so is it safe to say that? Is it safe to say that although you knew he was extremely religious before marriage, maybe you dropped the ball because you didn't do the research on how?
I didn't drop any ball. I had an experience in life.
Did he remarry?
Learned from that experience, and I have grown from that experience.
I'm saying, had you known that you knew he was extremely religious before marriage, had you known that there was a divine order, would you have still married him?
I knew that there was a divine order, but that doesn't mean that you're superior to me.
But it means you
she's not going to take accountability.
I'm deferring to. He is not an authority over me.
Okay, is there a possibility that he chose wrong, Darwin?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Sure.
Okay, let's get to that. Is there a possibility that he chose wrong? Did he know that you didn't subscribe to divine order before marrying you? Huh?
Are you not? I'm not. I'm a very upfront person. I don't do all of that. I even
hold on, wait. You said you're not an upfront person?
Hold on. I started a teen church at the church. I myself started a teen church in that church where I taught out of that Bible, because I know the Bible.
So you're admitting
I would never teach that.
So you're admitting that you were finessing, you were exploiting the word.
I was teaching the word.
Was you wasn't genuine? How can you start a teen church when you don't even believe in divine order?
You know, I'm just gonna tell you what it looks like, right? I could be completely off, but I don't think so. It seems as if you wanted him enough to try to conform, right? But you were trying to do something that was outside of your comfort zone, and you tried to force it, right? For you to take it to go ahead and start teaching groups and everything else, that's dedication. So he thought under the impression that you would conform to what he was going to do. So that's why I would say in this particular situation, he probably wasn't as wrong, because he thought you would be able to conform, and you probably agreed to it, right? But now you couldn't do it, and you're human, and I get it. But you're supposed to know yourself before anything, right? And I always tell people the worst thing that you can do in a relationship is to compromise. It's never.
But I also think she thought she would change him, because women do this all the time. You know, they meet a guy. There are 10 things she wants in a man, right? They meet a guy. There are 10 things she has on her list, because we all know women have lists. But this guy meets maybe 5. Right? And let's say one of the 5 is the money aspect. Let's say, yeah, he makes good money, but there's this other thing that she doesn't like. So she's hoping she can change him as time goes on. So she met a religious guy who wants to be the head of the household, but she's not as religious. So she was hoping she can change him and run him and control him over time. Because we know, guys, that happens in marriages all the time. In the relationship, she must have been listening to him, but as soon as marriage comes along, women change. Let's say in the relationship, she was cooking for the guy. When the marriage starts, she claims she cannot cook every day because she has to work. So all that happens all the time.
Good to be compromised. Don't like it, I apologize. It is what it is. You don't compromise. You go in the relationship as yourself, and if that matches up with whatever it is, then cool, right? And it is required for you to go under someone's leadership and understand and trust what they do, but they have to be going on a path that works for your life, that you know you can do that potentially for a lifetime. If not, it's unsustainable and you're bound to fail.
Now that I do agree with, and I will take accountability for that. Because here's the thing. I grew up in the church. The Bible is easy for me, right? I didn't say nothing about I don't believe in Jesus. I didn't say nothing about I don't believe in the Bible. I didn't say none of that. I said I don't like church. But here's where I
You
will
don't
take the
like order
accountability.
either.
When
Hold on, she's about to be accountable. Hold up.
I knew that he was extremely religious, right? But I grew up in the church. It's something that I'm familiar with. So I thought that was, I'm like, I could just go. It's fine. I grew up like that. It's cool. Like, I'm going to the church. I was extremely involved. I did so many things. I was in the church. Fine by me. Sang in the choir, all of the things, whatever.
Wow.
And
Okay, I get it.
I just could not. I just
I have a question.
I get it.
So
and this goes back to what I told you guys. She thought she would change him to be more like her. So let's say the guy was going to church every Sunday. She thought she would make it to a point whereby he goes to church every other Sunday. He can skip a Sunday and go to the next Sunday. Why? It's easy. She would just make up plans for Sunday. She would be like, "Hey baby, I made us plans to go visit so and so on this Sunday." So she thought she would change him.
Were you like cosplaying the whole time?
I was not.
No, she wasn't. Oh my God.
I was not. I was not. What
Hey,
don't
go
y'all
ahead,
get
Sweeney. Go
about?
ahead, Sweeney. Go ahead,
It's the
Sweeney.
church. It is the
Sweeney's getting real
building.
frustrated. Go ahead.
It's the pastor hollering, hooping and hollering and spitting and all over the place. I am cool with Jesus. I am cool with the Bible, but I don't like church.
No, what happens is they pick and choose what parts of the church they like. They pick and choose what parts of the Bible they like. So the part of the Bible that says the man is the leader and the wife should submit to the man, she doesn't like. It's not that she just doesn't like church. It's the part that tells women or wives to listen to their husbands and to submit to their husbands that she doesn't like.
The thing about it is, church is not the only thing associated with living with a man who is religious or having any biblical order.
No, but that's
people
big
who
for him.
who believe in the Lord, they don't even go to church. Huh?
I know, but that was big. Church was big for him. That was a big thing for him.
But it was also how you got to understand a lot of the stuff that he believed in translated into the household too. That's where y'all. That's what I'm trying to get you to
No. So here's what I gathered, right? Because you did ask her a really good question, Bruiser. You asked her if she knew all of this, how is it that they wind up getting married? And what I gathered is during their relationship process prior to marriage, she actually did do a lot of things on the surface that would look like this would be like he was extremely religious, but on the surface she was doing a lot of things that would make him believe that he was going to get a woman of God that was also going to fall in, that was going to not only follow.
That wasn't surface. I was really doing.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. What?
It wasn't surface.
But yeah, like you would. Okay, that makes my point even stronger. So you were giving him straight up signs that he was going to have a woman of God that was going to follow underneath his leadership. You said you couldn't stand the church when you was growing up, and yet you was in the church with him. You done participated in the Bible studies. You done got the youth thing going. You know what I mean, and all of that. And in his mind, he was like, okay, yeah, this is a wife. And when he got married to you, what you found out was that this isn't just his religion, his faith in God and his religion and him being moving by, by divine order wasn't just about the church. It was also how he moved in life. And what you realized was like, damn, that's not me. So you found out that you weren't a wife.
She wanted him to leave it at the door.
Wait, hold on.
No. She knew she was no wife material. She knew she couldn't do everything a marriage says she can do. Like I said, so many women get married because there are things they like in a man. Let's say a man wants marriage, right? And they don't want the marriage, or they know they cannot be a wife fully. They would just say yes because let's say the guy has money, he's willing to pay her bills, he's willing to do something for them. Maybe she has kids and she's looking for a stepfather. She will go all along with the marriage, hoping he can change, hoping she will be able to control him in the marriage. But once she can't get her way after year 1 or year 2, and she still can't control him or change him into what she wants, because let's be honest, women get into relationships or marriages and they try to turn their husbands into their girlfriends. That's why they want the pillow talk. That's why they claim, I want my best friend. So the same way she treats and talks her girlfriends off in the ear, she wants the husbands to be that. And most guys are not going for it. They want to be the man. They want to be the leader of the household. And most women want to be the leaders of the household, but they still expect the man to pay all the bills. Don't forget it. Just because she doesn't want him to be the leader, she wants to control everything, but she wants to control his money too. So that's the thing. She wanted to control him and she failed, but she knew who she was.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Is it because did you feel that he wasn't depositing into your emotional bank in the ways that you wanted? Like he was talking earlier about how men have an expectation for them to consistently receive deposits, but women don't get those deposits in return. So is the problem that you weren't getting the deposits from him? Because you were doing the church thing, that is your deposit, but you felt like it wasn't reciprocal?
That's not true.
Is that
anything?
What you're saying?
Yeah. Like after we got married, complete like
he was locked in. He was locked in on his purpose, wasn't he?
He was what?
He was locked in on his purpose.
You can't. Whatever that was. No, he was. Oh, it's so complicated. But
it doesn't feel like it is though.
You're saying after. You're saying after you guys got
hold on, Keith saying something, y'all.
People like because we were talking earlier about people presenting as one thing. Actually, you were talking about this, how you can't, and I agree with that. You can't. We deal with a lot, and I keep saying this generation because it's true, but people manipulate. They do what needs to be done to get what they need to get, and then once they have it, then that facade disappears.
But he wasn't manipulative though.
So are you saying that Bohemian manipulated him? Is that what you're saying? Bohemian manipulated him?
Well, he manipulated her.
She didn't manipulate.
Oh, you said he.
I don't think anyone.
It's amazing how they always twist this. So now they're saying, after she claimed she left a good man because of religious reasons, because he was too much into church, now this one and this one, the sisterhood, has found a way to twist things and claim the husband manipulated her. She's an adult. How was she manipulated?
Oh, I don't think anybody manipulated anyone. I don't think anyone manipulated anyone.
I wouldn't call it manipulation.
It wasn't a manipulation. No,
I don't think that it's manipulation. I think that I think that it's something that a lot of people do. Many people do the things to get the person. Then once they got them, gloves off, time to be me. And so once I got married, I didn't start. We weren't dating, and I started this teen church, and I was really involved. No, I would visit his church. I would go every once in a while. But when we got married, I joined the church, and that's when things went up for me. I did more because I was led to do more. I don't regret none of that.
What's the more that you did for the man? Because guys, mind you, the guy is not here to defend himself, because we have seen this time and time again. After a divorce, after a breakup in a relationship, most guys just stay quiet, try to heal in peace, but the women always speak up. He was a bad guy, he was abusive, he was a manipulator, he was controlling, he was toxic. They say all these bad things about men, but men never speak up. And guess what other women do, like this one and this one? Oh, he manipulated you. Oh, he did this. They were never even part of the relationship, all because the other woman played victim. And this is the part of reasons these conversations piss me off a lot, because women, they all play victim, and the other women, the sisterhood, just helps it. Because now she's painting herself like the victim. Oh, he never did this. Oh, he turned up. Oh, he made me do ABCD. Are you saying he never did anything good? Are you saying you're perfect in the relationship? I'm pissed off. All right, guys. Link down below to Lapif. I can't do this no more. All right. Till next time. Peace.